Hello,
Mic
hello,
check.
mic
I'm
check.
eating.
Testing 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
Hello,
All
mic
right.
check, mic check.
All right, check. Okay. Yeah.
Bruh. God damn, you could have told me we went live. I'm still chewing on
Yeah,
the
I didn't
fucking
know. I
chocolate.
didn't know none of that. You know?
I absolutely told the world where I live. See, this is Krow. You sinister. So sinister.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Hey, yo, bro, you're gonna have to cut that.
All right, so welcome to episode 8 of Nest Talk. This is your host, Theslykrow, and this is the show where we talk about some of the big gaming headlines and what's trending in the gaming media. And today we are doing the post E3 show, and so once again I'm here with my man Agent Deli.
Hello, welcome to our podcast. Thank you for having me back. I really appreciate that. And it's also nice to see you again, Joker. And then, of course, this is the first time meeting Hustle, but it's nice to meet Hustle. Hello, hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely appreciate the guests coming through. And, if you guys don't know Deli, he is an ex-developer at Ubisoft. So he does know the in and outs of what goes down in the game development scene. And I definitely appreciate his input on some of these topics here. And so I have my guy, Joker Gamer V3.
What up, people? Appreciate you inviting me back to the podcast, Krow. And yeah, man. Nice to meet you again, Deli. And definitely nice to meet you, Hustle. You got a smooth voice, bro. And like Deli said earlier, you got a smooth voice, bro.
Yeah. All right, we have a special guest here. We have the one and only Hustleandmotiv8.
A special guest. Yes, I'm stretching it just a little bit. Hey Krow, thank you for having me, man. I have watched your rise for quite some time, and I'm super proud of what you got going on over here. Gentlemen, it's good to meet you both for the very first time. And I have a question. I do have a question.
Oh, sure, yeah. Fire away.
Yeah, fire.
If I
Deli,
can't answer it or if I'm uncomfortable answering it, I will tell you, hey, I don't want to share. So other than that, fire any question you want.
No, I was going to say, Deli, who does the, I know you don't work there anymore, but who does the Ubisoft press conference for E3? Do you know who does those? Who's in charge of that?
I don't know who's in charge of that. I haven't been paying attention, to be honest with you. I just know that last year we had, last year for that whole BLM thing going on, that thing was written in like 3 hours. So
yeah, well,
it was written and filmed like literally that morning because I was sitting in the break room and everybody was talking about it. And they were like, man, we need to get this thing together. And then like I was like, oh man, it's just gonna be. I remember tweeting out, I was like, it's a little rough this morning. And then like at 11:30, Eve Gilmont comes out and with that little thing, and I was like, that whole Splinter Cell mobile game situation was actually Eve Gilmont's son that just thought it was a cool idea to push, and then he just let it happen, and it kind of got out of hand real quick.
Well. All right, the more you know. All right, nah, I just was curious. That's one hell of a learning experience. Jeez, you must be like a genius. Like, would you study rocket science? Like, what's going on? Like, that's
no,
a lot.
Yeah, we'll talk, bro.
No, my major was theoretical physics with a minor in philosophy at UC Berkeley.
Okay.
Yep.
God damn.
Man said he literally just flexed.
It's a flex right there.
His IQ level.
Yeah.
His IQ right there is like, come at me, 200 IQ, get up in this bitch.
Nah, more like 2 IQ, bro.
Yeah,
who you kidding? Alright. He's trying to be modest. Alright, bro.
I'm a humble man. I don't know what to tell you.
True.
All right, yo. So once again, guys, welcome to episode 8 of Nest Talk, and this is our post E3 show. And so before we get into the topics here, I wanted to get into a bit of Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. And, Deli here has been raving about Insomniac Games since, for a few episodes now. So let's go ahead and start with Deli. And what are your impressions of Ratchet and Clank?
I think I put out an official review on Twitter, so I'm just gonna be really lazy and read that because I can't remember everything. And then I'll obviously add extra points to that as well too. But I said, Ratchet and Clank, this outing is a lovely outing for the duo. This time around has shown a lot more mature edge without losing the charm, the fun, and the thrill of being a planet-trotting hero with the introduction of new planets, mechanics, characters, and of course, guns. Insomniac knocks it out of the park with how they revisited the franchise that's going into adulthood, because I think it's 19 years old now. And it has like 12, 13 games or something like that. But anyways, all the new characters and returning characters carry a new weight to them. Gone are the days of sexual innuendos and witticisms to fill the time. This time around, each and every character expresses doubts, love, admiration, hesitation, and often openly speaks about their fears either to themselves or to the other characters directly. I think it's refreshing to hear that and continue to charm every player who travels with either the main characters, Rivet and Ratchet. The game is amazing. It's gorgeous. I don't think at some points in time it does feel like it's like a movie. Like, actually, there are moments in the game that look better than the 2016 movie or the 2017 movie that Ratchet and Clank had. Yeah, and everything that Ratchet and Clank brought to the table this time around, I think the most I enjoyed, because I was telling my brother this, the biggest fear that I had was that Rivet was just going to be a side character that's throwaway. Like, hey, look, we had this new character and then nothing happens with it. Kind of like how Halo 5 with the whole, that whole versus battle going on, and then they kind of forgot what was going on halfway through the game. In this game, Rivet has like emotional growth, and a lot of it actually. And something about that is just really complimentary to the game, especially when they're trying to go for something a little bit more mature. I remember playing the game and telling and saying out loud, like, wow, this game got really deep really quickly. Like, halfway through the game, I was sitting there, I was like, yo, they're actually like bringing in, I know it's like a kid's game because it's rated E10 and up, but a lot of the things that they're talking about is something that you would think that, like, most kids or teenagers aren't really open to. A lot of it is like, like I said, they're talking about fears. Like, there was a moment in the game where a character expressed that it wasn't the fear of meeting new people or opening up to new people. It was the fear that maybe they're disappointed, like maybe their image of me will be like, in comparison to my image of myself, will be a disappointment. And I just think it was just a really mature way to carry these new characters into adulthood. But other than that, I mean, I rated it really, really high. I rated it a 9.5 out of 10. Just because I think that the game is just everything that I thought Ratchet and Clank would be. And I think and I said previously that it's probably going to be one of the best PlayStation exclusives in this last decade, and I do stand by that. Not only is it a technical masterpiece, I think it's for what it has achieved for its a sequel in such a long-standing series. I think that Insomniac's ability to reinvent itself and constantly push forward without losing the essence, and of course having rave reviews across the board between critics and fans alike. I just think that it's just something that has not been seen in a sequel, or at least in a PlayStation exclusive, in a while. Because I know a lot of people are able to complain about Uncharted 4 or God of War or God forbid Last of Us 2, but I don't think I've heard a single person say anything bad about Ratchet and Clank. So I do think that I just genuinely think that it's one of the better exclusives out. So, and I stand by that.
Yeah, for sure. And I do think that I did look at it, a few screenshots. People were posting the screenshots on the Twitter timeline, and these graphics look amazing. And I really do think Insomniac did such a good job. And this is the one title that pushes the system to its limits. And so I'm gonna pass it to Hustle and Motivate. And what were your thoughts on this game here?
Hey, Krow, you can just call me Hustle.
All right.
As you saw, I live streamed it yesterday. I'm only like an hour in. First of all, like, graphically, look, Insomniac on a lot of people's ass, boy. They on a wait. I'm sorry. Can we curse on here? No, I need to ask. Like, I want to be respectful. Okay.
I mean, we're trying to keep it professional here, so
All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah. My fault. So you gotta forgive me. Insomniac, the way that the performance in the ray tracing mode looks, especially on my monitor in particular, my television even, like, it's like a phenomenal experience. And having that game at 60 frames is, it's like the cherry on top for me, because I'm actually a PC gamer too. My biggest complaint in comparison to 2016 was the fact that the 30 frames, it moved kind of slow. just to give you all a idea where I am, I'm at Rivet's first part. I'm at the very first part, but there's a whole lot going on. I would be hard pressed to even see this game being on PlayStation 4 whatsoever. So a couple people was like, "Oh, this game's coming to PS4." I doubt it.
I
doubt it.
agree. I don't think it could run on the PlayStation 4.
Well, it can run, but it's just with the SSD how it moves everything forward.
I think
I don't.
the way that Insomniac
think-
designed this game, I think it would be very hard. I think it would break the flow of the game if it was on PlayStation 4. I feel like it would constantly be cutting to a black screen and the loading screen. I feel like it would really, it would pull people out of the experience. And I'm sure that Insomniac has probably tested it on a PlayStation 4 and was like, it's not working.
Yeah, they couldn't do it.
I don't think it's worth wasting all those resources in order to bring it out to PS4 when they actually built it specifically to PS5 to make sure that they utilize every single aspect that the PlayStation device itself can give it to the game. Do you know what I mean? Like when it comes to faster speed, loadings, the graphics, the way it performs, all that experience. If you downgrade it to a lower hardware, I just feel like it's a wasted potential. There's like, I don't think it's worth it. It's needed, and also cost-wise, it's not efficient enough. And people will get kind of deterred by it. Some people will have some complaints. Some people will have some issues. I don't think it's actually worth that input really. We don't need it for a PS4. It's made to build it's made to be played on a next generation console, so let's just leave it at that. And in that opinion, or like that's my opinion anyway, personally. So I think there's a lot of people, people like you, Deli, and people who have actually played it, agree on that aspect too. Is they like, man, just leave it as it is. Don't touch something that's not broken. Let's just carry it on.
Yeah. Oh, I also wanted to say I took half a point off for the review. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. I took a half a point because I disliked the weapon selection. But I will say though, once I got to the end and started upgrading a certain weapon that I thought was not that great, it has actually become my favorite weapon. But some of the other weapons I'm like, I don't really use. I used 4 weapons, and one of them I just use as like I'm out of ammo for the other 3. But I do cycle through 2 of them pretty regularly. So, but looking through the weapon selection, I think I bought every weapon but 1. So I bought everything. So I still have to run around and use them to upgrade them. So that may change in New Game Plus, but as far as I'm aware right now, it's not my favorite weapon selection. I think that Up Your Arsenal is my favorite weapon set that Insomniac has included in the game. And I do think that, looking back on it, I feel like they could have brought back a lot of cool stuff, but I don't know.
I love the way that they use the haptic feedback triggers, like with the shotgun.
I was gonna say that
I
too.
love that.
Like,
I love
it
that.
It feels natural. It feels normal too. Honestly, when I picked up this controller for the first time, and I thought to myself, "Hey, yo, that's a gimmick." Like, you know what I mean? Hustle. Like everybody on Twitter, they were like, "Yeah, it's this and that." And then you see all the PR videos, and they're like, "Hey, yo, this is a gimmick." But I'm gonna be honest with you, I have it set on like the default setting for Insomniac. You can tune it down and tune it up. I think tune it up, but you can tune it down for sure. I know that in the settings. Where it's at in the default feels like it just feels like you're a part of the game. And that's something that I can't really explain. And I know this sounds dumb, but I can't explain it until you play a game that utilizes it well. Because Hustle understands, like it's just something so small. It's such a quality of life update, and then you don't realize that like something's happening until you like pay attention to it. And
you lucky guys out there able to get hold of a PlayStation 5.
Yeah, real talk, man.
I'm jealous, bro. I am seriously jealous.
I got lucky. I got
Me too.
Doesn't matter,
Me too.
bro. Lucky is lucky, and I'm jealous of even you guys being lucky for that fact that we're able to get hold of a PlayStation 5. I'm still trying to get hold of one, and I still can't get it. And even if I get, for example, ask one of my homies to be like, "Hey man, get me a PS5 in US and ship it to me," bro. I am not paying £200 on customs. on
Ugh.
top of paying for a device itself. Do you know what I mean? It's like, come
Yeah.
on, like, bro.
Yeah.
Now I'm so salty. That is unreal.
You'll get your hands on one soon enough, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
It's
but
worth
on
the
that
wait.
note, though, it definitely is. I'm gonna be so ecstatic when I get my hands on it. But speaking on that note, though, like just by hearing you guys describing the gameplay, the way it controls, like the quality of life that Deli said, like there's just a little upgrade, bro. That's getting me pumped up even more to just get my hands on it. Do you know what I mean? Just so I can
Mhm.
experience it and to be able to play those kind of games like developers can actually integrate all these mechanics into it. You know what I mean? It's like make sure you would utilize that whole entire experience that you're supposed to get hold of. And yeah, man, like just by hearing Ratchet and Clank reviews, the way you guys explain it to me, like telling me like, oh, the weapon system, like changing the weapons, and then afterwards, the haptic feedback and everything like that. Like, I tell you what, Sony has low key, like I've noticed every time since PlayStation 1 to PlayStation 4 to now PlayStation 5, those subtle differences as it progressed. I can
Yep.
see it because I've lived through that generation. I was lucky enough to
Yeah.
get hold of a PlayStation 1. I
Mhm.
had the box one, the
The
original
P-Stone, yeah.
PlayStation. Yeah, the
Yeah, the
original one.
PSX. Yeah,
Yeah, the PSX. And then afterwards, I even had the PS1, the smaller
the
version.
smaller one. That's the first
Yeah,
one I
yeah,
had.
yeah.
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 And then eventually going to PlayStation 2, PlayStation Slim, PlayStation 2 Slim, then getting the PlayStation 3, the fucking,
Yeah,
next
I
level
got the
shit.
original. I got the original Big
And then,
Bertha as well
yeah, yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So.
That should
And
look like
you know what?
it should look like a hibachi grill. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
And then afterwards, on top of
Them boys are
that,
thick, man.
yeah, that is a very thick machine. But the simple fact is that little PlayStation 3, I mean not little, but it's big. The hardware capability of that itself, to be able to run a Linux OS and use it like a
Mhm.
normal PC,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
and also at the same time, then seeing the PlayStation 4, what it brought, the services that they provided. Like, who in the bright mind, like I'm that old, like I never really thought like I could stream a game.
Mhm.
Right? Like I never thought that I could stream a game, but now it's possible. And then afterwards, having it into a system where you can directly stream whatever you're playing to the viewers out there. And then on
Mhm.
top of that, now you got the PlayStation 5 with the advanced interface and the specifications and everything like that. And going through all of that and playing Ratchet and Clank from the beginning,
Yeah.
right? And now to hear Ratchet and Clank on this generation, it's like they have taken strides, and all they keep doing is trying to keep rising and rising, pushing the limits.
Hmm.
And I remember playing Ratchet and Clank on PlayStation 2. And to be honest with you, I loved that little friggin' raccoon or whatever it is. It's right.
Yeah.
I
It's
loved it.
it's a
And on top of
Lombax.
that, yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Lombax, right? And at the same time, going through their journey, like the story mode, even though it was quirky, fun kind of a thing, it was one of those games where you could just relax back and be like,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about shit. You know what I mean? I can play this level over and over again. And to be able to have that same experience just by hearing you guys on PlayStation 5, bro, that's amazing. Just to keep up in that similar
Yeah.
stride and never lose that greatness of playing a game. Do you know what I
At
mean?
first, I was,
Nostalgia.
yeah, within the first 2 hours, I was like, actually, within the first hour alone, like, in the parade sequence in the beginning of the game, as soon as I got to see all the old Q Force members, I was so happy. I was like, "Yo, they're back!" Like, oh my God. Um, and then right
Yeah,
after that,
so
I was,
so I bet there's a lot of fan service in this game.
um, I
I can't
wouldn't
speak
call
to
it.
that just yet.
Sorry, what?
I said I couldn't speak to that just yet because I'm only an
Oh,
hour in. I'm
okay,
sorry,
yeah.
but cutting you
Oh,
off too.
okay, yeah.
I would say that it's a lot for returning fans. I would say that there's a lot of cool stuff. Now, it doesn't like it's not in your face like, oh, you have to be a fan to
Mhm.
experience it. I feel like because a lot of the parade sequence, a lot of those characters, like the returning characters, are like they're kind of just pushed off the screen. Because obviously you also have to think it's a like a reboot of a series that, because I think the last one came out in like 2013, 2014 or something like that.
2016.
2016. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So so yeah, so you got to think that like this is a series that is a direct sequel to one that was 5 years ago. So you never know where people are or who's experiencing it for the first time. So the game is built from the ground up to actually still be a first time experience. And it still introduces you to all the things about the universe that Ratchet and Clank is known for, all the weapons, all the stuff, all the gear.
Oh, okay.
It's still very much a beginner friendly game
Yeah,
while
yeah.
keeping the
Sure.
essence of Ratchet and Clank. And I think that that's what's, like I said, that's the one of the most important parts of the thing, because a lot of people mess up on reboots and stuff and sequels to reboots, is that they try to do too much and they lose, they lose, or they go into the opposite direction of what made it great in the first place, especially in a game like a mascot centric game like Ratchet and Clank, like Spyro, Jack and Daxter, Mario, those kinds of mascot games, because like obviously Ratchet and Clank came from the mascot era in the early 2000s. So while you're transitioning that into 2021, you're like, is that still a thing? Like, is mascot gaming still a thing? Not really. Is platformers the thing? Like, yeah, on a different scale, like on the indie scale, on PC or whatever, but it's not so relevant like it was in the early 2000s, where we had like where Sony had like 3 or 4 series. You had Xbox coming out with like a new one like every year, like, hey, here's a platform, here's a platformer. The high quality ones, the mainstream ones are like Shovel Knight, Ratchet, then obviously the new Ratchet and Clank. You have like yeah, we haven't seen Castlevania in a while, and then they just announced the new Metroid. But other than that, you don't. I mean, you have Ori and the Blind, Ori and the Will of the Wisp and the Blind Forest. So you really only have like a handful, and then of course the iconic Mario. So it's not as saturated as it was in the early 2000s. So bringing that and rebooting that into 2021, it's kind of scary to think as a developer, do we keep it the exact same, or has our audience grown past that? And like I said, they kept the essence, and then they've matured the series just enough to be like, oh, this is nice. Like it is actually quite nice.
Hey, Deli, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you think the game is too short? Because I see how long it takes to finish it, about 10 and a half hours. Do you think that that's too short for what this is?
Looking back on Ratchet and Clank 3 Up Your Arsenal, there's like a theater, and there's like, I think there's like 10 or 12 planets, and in this game there's like single digit planets. There's a lot of optional stuff, but I personally don't think that, like, if we looked at how big the PS2 game was with all that extra additional content, the museum, the theater, all the extra like Hollow Quest and stuff like that, there's a lot, and they jammed it into the PlayStation 2 era, or the PlayStation 2 version of the game. I mean, I was gonna say I think it is short, but I work a lot, so I'm okay with it being short.
Same.
So I'm like cool with it being 10 and a half to 12 hours. I'm cool because I bought it on Friday. I put a couple hours in, and then I played it again on Sunday. Then I played it again on Tuesday, or Monday night into Tuesday morning. So I played it up until midnight, and then I played it for about 3 hours yesterday, and then I beat it. So about 10 and a half to 11 hours. But I haven't gotten to the final, like, I've gotten to the final mission, and it's one of those missions where it's like, hey, you talk to this character and you can't go back after, your generic final mission.
It's like the Spider-Man, the thing they did in Spider-Man.
Yeah. So
they clearly let you know.
I'm running around collecting extra stuff right now, leveling up guns.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
So yeah, there is a lot of praise for Ratchet and Clank. A lot of critics are praising it and everything. But there is some criticism there as well. And I did see, this tweet went viral. And so it had a video of Rivet moving to the grass. And he was saying in the tweet, like, oh, Insomniac is a double A developer because they can't they don't have the technicality as compared to Naughty Dog or Rockstar.
I did encounter a couple.
So how do you
bugs.
guys feel about like the attention to detail aspects? Like moving to the
I ran into a
grass
couple of bugs in my playtime in my 10 hours so far. There was one where voice quips were like replaying over and over. Mind you, I do have the day one update. I don't know if there's another update available, but I had the day one patch. And there was another one where I got stuck in between like two boxes, and then I just like infinitely fell, and then I died. And there was another one where I got stuck in a wall for a brief period of time. I ended up being able to like jump and wiggle out. But other than that, I don't think they're like game breaking bugs. I did have to restart a checkpoint on one of them. I mean, I think the attention to detail is more apparent in photo mode. I think that because the game is stylized in the way that it is, move like Rivet wading through grass, or like her armor getting wet, or her fur getting wet, or something. Like, to me, I don't think that's that big of a deal, because you have to think about the realism versus realistic argument, right? Like, realism is like you throw something into a fire and it lights on fire. You're like, okay, that's realistic. That's how I would expect it to work, right?
Right.
Where realism is something like Uncharted 4, Last of Us 2, where like all of that stuff is like, you're like, yes, that's part of the world. That's like you automatically expect it to work like that. You almost have to have it working like that, because of the way the game is styled. But in this game, they use a lot of animation techniques like stretching and smearing, and that's something that keeps the it keeps the essence of like how it's animated and how the cutscenes are animated, because I don't feel like they used mocap. I could be wrong. I could totally be wrong. Would gladly be wrong, but I don't feel like it. At least from what I can tell, I don't feel like it's mocapped. I feel like a lot of it is hand animated, and even like if you slow down the footage of Ratchet jumping up and down, or Rivet jumping up and down, you can see the frames where they're stretching and smearing, and that's just interesting, the way that they don't change the style of between cutscene and gameplay. They keep it very consistent. So to me, the attention to detail, a lot of it is in RTX work or ray tracing work. So I would implore you to like look at people who have played with photo mode, because their eyeballs reflect, their armor reflects, shell casings. Like, there's so much attention to detail, but because the game is moving so fast and you're doing so much, it's easy to miss it. Whereas something like Last of Us 2, where it's like it has a lot of downtime, like the way the game is structured and designed, there's a lot of high moments and then there's downtime. So you can kind of notice it, the way Ellie handles her weapons or this or that. Whereas in Ratchet and Clank, like how fast you're moving between worlds and everything, it's very, very easy to miss everything that's going on.
I agree with you, Deli, on that. Please stop and take a picture. Bro, you saw my stream yesterday. When I got to that river section, I just stopped and looked over, and it just so happened I saw like the entire reflection from like the spaceship, like the eye of the spaceship, that orange part. I saw all that shit. I said, "Oh God!" And I thought I tweeted it out, but I didn't. But when I saw that attention to detail is super crazy.
Yeah.
Insomniac,
Sure.
man. I'm a be real. Whoever was complaining on Twitter, that they, God bless them, but we won't pay attention to that. And like I said, I'm gonna be civil because I'm here, but whatever. We just you can't focus on that type of thing. And this isn't and Deli, you mentioned earlier, this isn't that type of game like The Last of Us. So I don't expect for this to be super like detail oriented. Some bugs that you faced, Deli. My homegirl Becky had faced those same bugs because she was tweeting that stuff out. But I don't know if there was a second update, because I had played, like I said, I started this yesterday, and the game's been out like what, a week, or not even.
It came out Friday, so 5 days now.
Yeah, so I haven't really seen that type of thing. I almost fell between two crates, but I kind of jumped myself out of it. So who's to say? But no, that game looks phenomenal. Insomniac, man. I mean, I saw a few people capping on Twitter. They PlayStation's best studio, this, that, and the third. Not quite. Naughty Dog is still there. But we will give Insomniac their flowers. Like over the last 7 years, and I did a video on it. Over the last 7 years, like the level of excellence, the quality, like everything from traversal, from graphics, from just the writing itself. Like the writing itself, from what I've seen so far, is like really good. I know it's like kidding and they really for like full blown adults, but it's kind of funny. I'm not finna hold you. It's like a little Saturday morning cartoon. It's kind of funny for real. So just
and I had to remind
Yes.
myself, it's like, hey, this game is E10 and up.
right.
Like a lot of these people, like, that's why you say you read the reviews and nobody's judging it as if it was like an M17 or GTA 5 or like some role playing, some like super realistic sim game. We all know what Ratchet and Clank is. We all know what it looks
Yeah.
like. We all know the idea that it's trying to convey. So I feel like you really need the people who are harsh about it on Twitter kind of need to just pull themselves out of it, and just realize that like, if this is the game, if you're trying to criticize it for that, like maybe this isn't the game that this isn't the best example for a game that you're trying to really target and harass. I think this game still has a lot to compliment about. I think that anybody who's doing otherwise is really nitpicking about it, right? Like even me, I gave it such a high score, even with a couple bugs that I ran into in my playtime, and like I said, one of them I had to restart. One of them had to restart a checkpoint. I think the other one had to close the game. But to me, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like I didn't think it was like, whoa, game is unplayable.
Yeah, I feel that. And most of the time, people seem to just jump on that bandwagon. And it's just like, kind of sits there and be like, listen, man, just give it a try. Just don't be salty for the sake of being salty. And just because everyone else is going on about it, you should experience for what you are. Don't try to please people and just say things and do things just because other people want to hear it. You know what I mean? So just go ahead, enjoy it. If it's really unplayable, all right, cool, bet. Give me your reasoning behind it. Give me your reasoning behind it. Show me your absolute points as to where you were actually having these issues, so that not only that it helps the developers, but also at the same time it also makes the how do you call it? It kind of desensitize the community so that
Well, it's
they are
actual
aware of it.
feedback. It's not just, well, this game is crap. Well, why? I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
like
yeah.
it. Like, okay, all right, cool.
Exactly. Like, and that's the thing. Like, bro, do you even play games to say like you don't like it? What? So any game that comes out, you're just gonna be sitting there and be like, this is shit.
Yeah, if it's not your genre of game, then automatically it's bad. I dislike that. I feel like people need to be open with more, because there's so much variety in games, and that's something that I'm proud of. Being in the industry, it's like I know I had tweeted out this a little while back, or like 2 days ago, because I saw Somerville, and I was like, I'm so happy to see that developers are still leaning towards like a very stylized, heavy, atmospheric aesthetic, instead of chasing that. Hey man, it's got AAA games, got to be hyper realistic. Like that comment that you said on Twitter, like, oh, Insomniac's a AA studio. Like, no, they're definitely still a AAA studio. Not only did they release 3 high quality games, one being an update, but so let's say 2.5 high quality games. Like you had Spider-Man Remastered, Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank within the span of like a year.
Yeah.
You can't say that
It's not a
they aren't
AAA
a
game.
AAA studio. You can't
Yeah,
say
it's
that,
developed.
And mind you, I paid $70, so $69.99 for Ratchet and Clank, and I didn't feel like it was a waste of money at all. I felt like it was great. Actually, technically, I bought 2 copies. I bought one for me and for my brother, so I spent like $148 for the game, and I didn't feel bad for it. I love that game.
Sony's most consistent studio. I had said that in the video that I did. They definitely got a PlayStation 5 on their back right now, man. Like it's and it's like they like leagues ahead of like a lot of the other content that's already there. Sleeper hit for me, Astrobot. You played Astrobot, right?
Oh my god, that I
joint
thought it was
fire,
kind of
boy.
lame at first. I was like, nah, whatever, nah, bro.
Don't get me wrong.
That joint hot.
Then, like when I got the PlayStation 4 and I came across Astrobot, I was there like, what the
Oh,
hell
I'm sorry.
is this game?
Astro's Playroom. My fault.
Astro's
Playroom.
That's my fault.
I was there like, hey, what kind of game is this? And then afterwards, you see a little robot running around the whole entire thing, like the whole introduction to that. I was there like, yo, low-key, not gonna lie to you, I like this game, but I just don't want to admit it. You know what I
Oh
mean? I don't
no.
want to admit.
Well, yeah,
Like,
Astro's Playroom is free, and
Yup.
it's
Mhm.
the actually when you get your PS5 Joker, I implore you to actually just play 30 minutes of it, because
Alright,
not
cool.
only is it the perfect use of the haptics,
Mhm.
it's like it's already installed, so you can just boot up and play it like
Oh, dope,
that. Like
dope.
you don't
It's
need to like
pre-installed.
no updates, no nothing. Like it's just it
Yeah.
flexes everything that the PlayStation 5 is trying to sell and market itself as perfectly. And also it's fun. It's a platformer, and plus if you're a fan of PlayStation games or if you played any of them, there's a bunch of hidden Easter eggs in them, and
Oh.
I just felt like a kid, playing it
Mm-hmm.
like Mario or whatever. You just felt like you were part of something bigger. At least that's how I felt. So I was happy with it.
I'm gonna echo those sentiments. It's actually the perfect love letter to PlayStation as far in terms of history and everything. If you knew nothing about PlayStation, say you didn't,
Mhm.
and you just worked your way through it, game's about 5 hours or whatever, you can platinum that. Really, you can platinum it in like one sitting or whatever. But if you didn't know anything about PlayStation, as you slowly progress through the levels and it tells you different things about the PS5. It's just a lot that's going on with it, and that game is like criminally underrated. I haven't really met a person who hasn't liked that game. Like for everybody who played it, I have not met a person like yet who has not liked it whatsoever.
Yep,
But
I haven't
that
either.
joint fire, boy.
Yeah.
That thing, oof, that thing it's good. It's really good.
That certified banger.
Yeah. Certified
All
banger.
right,
But
so
yeah, man.
yeah,
Just
back to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Yeah, I do think Insomniac is definitely ahead of the curve in front of everybody else, and it's great to hear that you guys are enjoying the game. And so we're gonna be moving on to our E3 post coverage, and so let's go ahead and start with Ubisoft Forward. And so, I'm just gonna go to the highlights real quick. We have R6 Rainbow Six Extraction. That's a cool looking co-op alien shooter. You got lots of alien variety that you can fight in that game. The highlight of the show, in my opinion, was Widest Republic, and I think personally this is a much better idea than what they did with the Crew. And just think about all the custom games and all the the crazy wacky things you can do with a group of your friends. Like it seems like a lot of fun, and it's a lot of things you can ride on. Pause. So you have a bicycle, snowboard, a skateboard as well. But on top of that, you also have the jetpack. You can also ride an ice cream bike, and you also have wingsuits as well. So
Hey,
it's
so
a lot of variety
when
there.
that so when that trailer dropped, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was sitting there and I was there like, is this another SSX game? Like, are you for real? Like, what? Oh man, I haven't
Yeah.
played an SSX game. And then all of a sudden they start bringing out different varieties of freaking game, like like the bikes, like you said, the jetpacks, ice cream. I was there like ice cream bike. What the hell? All right, cool. No worries. The concept is really cool. Especially like nowadays when most of the games are like serious, like you take it into a whole stride. It's not like a fun casual experience. This looks like it's one of those games where low key you can have a group of like 4 or 5 people and be like, hey man, do you want to just hang out and chill while we play this stupid ass game, or well, but just like a kind of like a casual couch party kind of a game. Also at the same time, if you got like a party going on a Discord, for example, right? So you got a voice chat party and you'll be like, what would be cool, let's play this. And also I think from what I got from this particular impression of this trailer is like it's encouraging a lot of streamers, right? Because like that's what I come across as, like as a streamer, you go ahead and jump into one of these games. You know what? I'll be like, I'm not gonna lie to you. Let's have a wingsuit battle. Right? Let's have a wingsuit race, or let's have a jetpack race. One of those kind of things. And like I was really, really impressed by the whole entire thing that they showcased in that trailer. The only thing that I haven't seen is the actual gameplay of a person playing it. I did see a little snippets of like a certain flips and tricks that the character was doing, but I would love to see more of that gameplay just to understand like how very well like the animation looks smooth, right? It
Mhm.
could be just that the rendering of the gameplay look better, but I just want to see the actual animation of how that the whole live experience is going on the gameplay version, right? Because it looked really, really well for particular sports, adrenaline, like all these kind of things, especially when you have like a massive amount of players playing it with you, right?
Mhm.
I want to see how well that game can handle, right?
Yeah,
Because this
I'm sorry, I'm watching the
Yes, sir.
trailer now. It seems like it's channeling, not channeling, but occupying the same space as like SSX and like Tony Hawk,
Exactly.
but also
Yeah,
at a
for sure.
party
Yeah,
game at
yeah.
the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like it definitely. I'm intrigued. I am. It looks
I
like
am.
a fun time.
It does. Like Loki is one of those days. Is be like, you know what? Let's have a view, like as a streamer, right? Let's have
Mhm.
a viewer game, right? So
Yeah, this would be an
you just
Yeah,
pull
a
up.
awesome
viewer
community
game.
game. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a community game, right? So you just pull up like the queue ups, and then be like, hey, if you want to play a game, just type in exclamation word join, and then you will be in queue, and you can hop into this game. And
Yeah,
bam.
because not everybody likes Forza Horizon, but it seems like this game has so much variety to it that even if you're, like watching here the gameplay, I see that's like first person biking, and then there's the
Hmm.
wingsuit. It seems like
Mhm.
there's something for everybody, even if you're
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
into extreme sports.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
And
I
and
saw.
that's
sorry, go ahead,
that's a
Hustle.
really good.
Oh
Sorry.
no, I just saying like I saw the trailer because I had streamed the Ubisoft conference in Discord. Me and the troubleshooters was like, "Yo, we is that a cop?" And we was like, "Yeah, that's a cop." So that definitely it's like a community driven thing. As you guys mentioned before, I never really looked at it as having a ton of your viewers come game with you. I probably never looked at it like that. But now that you mention it, I think that's something that one of us out the group got to execute, man, because it definitely does look fun. I do want to see more gameplay, and I've seen this game before. I can't remember where they showed it at, but it
Hmm.
was at one of those events. But I've seen it before. We saw like a quick little trailer of it. Um, all them people on the bikes. I mean, how many people did they confirm it was like 100 people? Was it 60 people? Did they say?
Ooh.
Um,
I think
so that's the
64 is. I think I saw there was a
64 per
wingsuit
server?
race. I saw a wingsuit race, and in the trailer it's about around 4 minutes and 25 seconds. It says position 28 out of 64.
God
That's still
damn.
good.
So at least
Still
That's
good.
still
Nuts, man.
server is 64.
so can you imagine if you have more than like a specific amount of viewers watching you and they own like let's just say 1/3 of that, right? Own this game and they'll be like, yo, Loki, it'll be fun to play against play with the streamer and all their group, and they're all sitting there and be like, hey man, I beat you, you know what I mean? Take the L, just go, just go. Could you imagine the amount of BMs thrown in that freaking chat? Like, damn, bro.
Yeah.
All right, calm. But anyways, but it looks like a community driven game, and to be honest with you, it's something that I love to do. Like because most of the time I am like a community type of gamer, as in the
Mhm.
sense, right? Like I like playing with players. I like enjoying. I like to even just chill and hang out for the sake of just chilling and hanging out, even if I don't play the game, right? And you can see
Yeah.
that most of the time I'm on Windows server, right? I'm just chilling over there and not playing a game, but I'm just chilling over there. And I'm just listening to this man talk, replying to whatever question he throws at me. They sit there and take the well, in UK, in England, we say taking the piss, but we just like sitting there and teasing each other, right? So he takes the piss out of me, I take the piss out of him, and bam, it's just cool. It's a fun little thing. So while doing that and playing like this wacky ass races, like
Mhm.
bet I'll be up for it. I'll be up for it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you definitely make a great point, Joker. I do think this is gonna be, popping off on Twitch. And honestly, this could be like the same effect as Fall Guys did, on Twitch, how it
Yeah,
exploded there.
yeah.
And
Yep. Mm-hmm.
like I definitely see the potential with that, man. And so yeah, you guys can. We do have a release date here. It is going to be released on September the 2nd, so you can look forward to Whitest Republic, and it's looking like a day one cop, And
Hey, for this game, I'll honestly tell you, for this game, I don't mind paying whatever the retail price for this game is.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's one of those
Really?
games that I like. You know me, I'm a cheapskate when it comes to certain shit. Right? I'm not even gonna deny that fact, bro. I'm being honest with you. But for these kind of games, and if it gives me a good content, and if it allows me to grow my community and make a lot of new friends, bet I don't mind paying retail price for this.
I'll get it if y'all get it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
it.
It's
That's
one
it.
of those
Yeah,
things.
that's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's exactly it. I'll get it if you get it. All right, cool. No worries. Let's go. You know what I mean?
All right, bet. Yeah. So, moving on here. So I am going to go over a little bit of the Devolver Digital Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And, as always, they do put up a good, goofy show, with all the skits and everything. I did like the skits. So some of the games I want to highlight is Shadow Warrior 3. And this is looking like, Doom meets something like... It's like Doom meets Bioshock in a way, kind of like with the cartoon aspect. And also Death's Door, I really did like Death's Door here. It's kind of like Legend of Zelda meets Bastion. So I do think this is a really cool game there as well. And so you guys want to go over some of these games, or are you guys hyped for any of these games here?
I'm actually happy Shadow Warrior is still being made. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Bro. That's I was about to say that. I'm not gonna lie to you. I played the first and the second one.
The first one I thought it was like, it's just a lame game, and then I ended up playing it, and it occupies the same space as Doom, so I'm like, yo, this is kind of nice.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Like, I played the first and the second game. I was there like Shadow Warrior. Then I said, Shadow Warrior 3? Okay, what are they gonna throw in this time? Let's see. And yeah, it looked fast paced, like you said. Kind of got a Doom aesthetic with me, Bioshock. Yep. And also there is another thing too, where it's like the one thing I really did not like about it, it looked like there was too much chaos going on, right? And it was like hardly anything that was I could focus on. Just a lot of things that was happening, and I just wanted to be like, oh, chill, take it like a slow step. Just to say, I get it. It's an action-packed adventure kind of a game, but that was way too much shit that was going on the screen for my liking. That's just me. It could be a different effect to another person, but for me, that was way too much for my liking. Do you know what I mean? So, I did play Shadow Warrior 1 and 2, and you could see the difference, right? The amount of things that's going on, the chaotic thing that's going on, and compared to the first and the second one, it's just like, what are they trying to show over here? Are they trying to show that the engine is better, or is it trying to show that they have added new features? It's like it was not a clear message sent across in a particular way. It's like, I bet I created the third sequel for the game. Here it is. This is what you're expecting. Nothing else. You know what I mean? So yeah, I was a little bit disappointed, but at the same time, at back of me is there like, you know what? It could be a marketing strategy for all you know. So it's one of those things that I have to take in stride and choose within my own ability to like, hey, do I want to buy the game or wait for it until the Xbox Game Pass comes up? It shows up on Xbox Game Pass. Just see how it goes.
I think they're just really nailing down bigger and better. I think that's really it. It's like, hey man, Shadow Warrior 2 is kind of wild and crazy. Like, let's do more. Bigger,
but
more
it's like,
bombastic.
You see, that's a similar thing. Like looking back at those kind of things, it's like you remember Saints Row 1
of
and
course.
2,
So
right?
it's the same concept.
It's the similar concept that is happening over here. It's like, I just hope it doesn't happen like what happened to the rest of the Saints Rows. Do you know what I mean? It just goes downhill.
Where it's just
it
too
just went
much.
crazy. Yeah, it just
Mhm.
went crazy and crazier as they like eventually ended up fighting aliens. I was like, hey man, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, I hope it just like still has that kind of an aesthetic as playing the first and the second game. Do you know what I mean? And doesn't make you lose interest in any way. And don't feel the regret of purchasing it
Yeah.
and be like, I already played 2 hours into it. God damn, I can't even refund it.
I have a question because I've never played the Shadow Warrior franchise before. So, just as like a newbie, like what would be the one thing that you would say to me to get me a?
Ooh, that's
It's
a good
like
question.
if the Doom guy had a sense of humor.
Oh
Exactly.
shit!
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
if the
really about
Doom
it,
guy,
you know.
it's a Doom guy that had a sense of humor and it's just a lot of gore. Just
Yeah,
gore.
that's pretty much it. Like anything that you've seen in Doom Eternal, it's basically the same. I don't want to say it's basically the same game, but it's the same style of game. You run in, you're overpowered, you're wild, you're crazy, you got a bunch of cool abilities, and you're just dismantling people, and that's pretty much the core of the game. Obviously there's the story.
And yeah, and the fact is that you can use a sword. Just
Yeah.
he-
Swords,
he's a
dual wielding
he's a
guns, like everything.
yeah. Let's like the whole story is based that he's a modern day ninja. Imagine that shit. Right?
Mm,
He's a
I got
modern
you.
day ninja. He's not gonna be wearing that Toby boots and that whole entire setup and running around shit. No. This
Mhm.
guy is gonna go all guns blazing. You know what? I'm here, motherfucker. Let's go. Kind of an attitude.
So I saw the conference, but it was on mute, and I was playing Battlefield when it was on.
Mhm.
Before I even get into it, what I would like to say is that Devolver Digital definitely has an eye for talent from all of like the past games, from
Mhm.
I almost say Ratchet and Clank. Now Ratchet and Clank from Hotline Miami 1 and 2, from what I've
Yeah.
played. I've
Yeah.
also played super brief, but like the not my friend Praise Yo. What's the joint with the banana that you run around
I
and
Yeah,
do
think
the
that
thing?
is my friend
My friend
Pedro.
Pedro,
My
yeah.
friend,
That's
I
what
think
it
you were
is.
right.
my
You're
friend
right. Yeah.
Pedro.
Oh,
Yo,
I was
I'm not gonna
fired.
lie
I
to
was
you.
straight heat, man.
Speaking of
nah,
my
just
friend Pedro, bro, I completed that shit so many times just to get a better rating, and it
not
always fucks me up big time. They always. That is one game. No matter how many times I play it, I am so salty, and I just want to keep playing and playing until I can actually beat the ranking. And they're like, I can do it, but I still can't achieve it. Why? Why? I'm using a keyboard and mouse, bro. Like that's
yeah.
the only game I play with keyboard and mouse, and I'm still not able to do it. Like I'm so salty. But cool.
No, you're
I'll try
good.
to
You're good.
speedrun.
You straight. You straight. No. Their alpha talent is it's super good. And I love the fact that they don't take themselves seriously. The only thing that kind of bothered me during that whole press conference, and this is on a tangent, was when the girl was eating the hot dog, and she ate it kind of weird. Like, like I don't know, she was eating the hot dog from the top down. It's just a thing that I saw.
Hey,
I was like,
hold on. I gotta watch this. Hold on.
Oh,
What?
you
Real
see it?
talk?
She was eating.
Yeah,
She was
yeah,
eating
yeah.
the chili dog. That shit was hilarious.
Yeah.
Pardon me. That stuff was hilarious. Pardon me. But I was like, what?
No, no,
What in the
no.
world?
Like I know Devolver Digital is known for having goofy conferences, and I don't know. Was it like a homage to play saying something while she's eating that thing
I
in
was.
that particular way? You
I was
know, so
watching. I was watching it on mute, so I really couldn't tell you. I was like, it was just one of those things that like stuck because I had it on my other monitor while I'm on my other PC,
it's
and I'm playing the game. I'm like, just looked up. What in the world? What are we doing?
what
So
is she doing? Like, yeah, it's one of those off the moment. Like, could you imagine? Like, I bet you anything it would make more sense if the audio was running, but because there was no
mhm.
audio running, you would be like, "Hey, man, I don't know what kind of a conference you're holding up, but if
The-
you want to sell your games, I guess this is the way you want to sell it."
yeah, but their shows are always good though. You all may know him, but oh no, it's Alex over there at the Press Star podcast. He had actually put me on to him. I didn't know who Devolver was. Like I just played the games, didn't know who they were. But he was like, "Yo, their shows are always good." So I just always kept an eye out for him and everything. And I think her name is Nina Struthers, I believe that's her name, or Smothers. I'm not sure, but she's quite hilarious. She's like the white Aisha Tyler to me. She's like super funny.
Right.
Yeah,
She quick with it. She
she's got
quit.
good timing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's super quick with it. But as far as the games and stuff, didn't they like last year? Didn't they do like a whole like fake games on Steam thing that were actual games on Steam? Or am I wrong? Because they
Hey,
did. like parodies of their own games, and it was for sale on Steam.
Yeah, they always are self-aware and
Hmm
do the weird and wacky, which actually I'm kind of cool with. They also
Yeah,
sell
yeah, yeah.
some
It's
things,
just
which I'm like that. Hey, I'm happy with that.
it just brings a different vibe to the whole entire introduction to the conference, you know what I mean? And it's like
Yep.
it's fun. Like you want to watch a show, you want to watch an event, make it interesting. People want to be gripped onto, and at the same time promote your product out there. And in all means and favors, the way they're doing it is just fine, because I'm pretty sure most of the people with who are actually tuned in and actually listening to the whole entire thing and watching the whole entire event, they were sitting there and they were probably laughing throughout the whole entire thing, because
hmm
let's face it, when you're introducing a product which happens to be games or game related, you don't want to become too serious, because that
hmm
goes off in a different way. You're talking about games, make it fun, because games are fun. It's not too serious unless it's a competitive kind of a game. Do you know what I mean? But apart from that, games are fun, and I think that's what they were trying to show. Since we are the game developers, we like to make games fun, but at the same time, we like to also host things in a funnier way, eventful way, people can get gripped onto. And I actually enjoyed that little event. It was different to all the other things, and that's what made me stand out, especially with the girl eating that. They're like, "All right, cool." That image was still in my head, and I think I was watching that event with my girlfriend, and she was there like, "What the hell?" Like, sorry for my voice. Like, "What the hell are you watching?" And I'm like, "We're watching about games conference." It's like, "Don't look
hmm
like that to me."
That's the
But yeah,
Devolver
man.
Digital.
Yeah, Devolver Digital, they always like to do some wacky, zany stuff there, and it's always cool to watch. And so we're gonna be moving on here to the Xbox Bethesda show. And
Hey,
so
Crow,
this,
can I say one last thing?
yeah, sure,
Can I say
yeah,
one last thing?
yeah.
My fault. Just in regards to having an alpha talent, Daimu is another one, another publisher who, if y'all aren't familiar, they have alpha talent as well. And the reason why I mention that is because I want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. I think they had something to do with Zombies Ate My
Yeah.
Neighbors as well, which comes out at the end of the month. So they got some heat too. They got retro heat, but they got heat nonetheless. Now I think because I haven't seen them none this E3. I think outside of like the Streets of Rage stuff today, I saw on
Oh,
GameSpot,
yeah.
but I didn't want to like mention that super quick. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
all
cool.
right,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, cool, no worries. And so, we're gonna be moving on to our Xbox Bethesda show. And so, I just want to go into the highlights. So we have a CGI trailer shown for Starfield, and we had Todd Howard stood on stage, and he was talking about his relationship with Xbox. So he's talking about that for a few minutes. Then we had the few minutes of CGI. And honestly, at first, I was just bummed out that they didn't show any gameplay of Starfield, but I did go back and watch the 4K trailer, and like it did reveal some interesting details. And so what I found interesting is when this guy was returning back from this remote planet, he actually put his weapon down on the table. So I'm thinking that this is just speculation, but I'm thinking that this could be Fallout meets No Man's Sky. And if it's anything like that, like yo, sign me up, bro. Like I'm with it, man. If it's anything like Fallout meets No Man's Sky, you have a lot of you have a lot of potential there, in my opinion. And I think that's a really ambitious project. So what do you guys think about what you've seen from the CGI trailer?
So I'm not as interested in like a lot of people because I still kind of don't know what's going on. I know it's in outer space. She kind of looks like a Celine from Return, or whoever that young lady was in the very beginning. That's who she kind of reminds me of, like when I first saw her. November 22nd? No. November 11th,
Yeah, November
2022.
11th.
So that's the release date. And I believe that has significance because November 11th was when, what was it? Not Fallout, but Elder Scrolls released, right? I think one of the Bethesda like historians is going to correct me on that, but I think that's why that date has significance. So
Okay.
there was a lot going on. They're also using a different engine. They're not using the Fallout engine. I forget the name of it. I wish I because
Oh, the
Attic had
creation
mentioned
engine.
it. Yes, so they're using a completely different engine. So maybe the name of Bug Theslykrow, quote unquote, and not using the air quotes. Maybe that name may go away. I'm assuming that this comes out right. I got a lot more thoughts on it, but as far because like people were upset that nobody saw like gameplay. Like nah, but like everybody like been around the game and things for quite some time, so we know how the rollout goes. So like they'll show you a CG trailer, then they may show you another CG trailer in terms of story, and I think they kind of did that here. Then at some point they're gonna have a big blowout next year. Hey, here's some gameplay, and then it's the release date because we know Bethesda don't play when it comes to that. Like, hey, when they show something, they typically drop it later on that year, a la Doom Eternal, so on and so forth. So they'll roll it out, and they'll roll it out in such a way. But I wasn't upset when I saw that. The thing that I was upset with though was that the Washington Post, shout out to DC, the Washington Post went ahead and leaked it like 20 minutes before it went live. I'm not sure if you all are familiar. Yeah, of all outlets. Like what? Jason Schreier had retweeted it, and it was just that turned into a whole thing.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know about that.
Like
yeah.
For me, honestly, regarding this game, I'm not interested in any way. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like, it's not something that I will pay so much attention to unless there is something significant where it catches my attention and be like, hey man, I'm willing to try out Starfield. But however, I am interested like with the engine that they are using, which kind of makes me want to think like, since they gave a little teaser trailer for Elder Scrolls, are they gonna use that similar engine to actually, create a new Elder Scrolls game?
They announced that it was the Creation Engine 2. And my thoughts on that is I hope it's actually a build, like from the ground up build of the Creation Engine. Instead of like Call of Duty where it's just they just keep patching, or like Frostbite where they just keep patching the same engine over and over and over again. Like I said, I desperately hope that it's a build up from the ground up, a complete rebuild, like actually new, and not just duct tape.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things, and not gonna lie, like when I saw the CGI trailer for Starfield, it was nothing that great of a thing for me to be like, oh, this looks very interesting. Yeah, this is gonna captivate my thing. Like the whole Xbox Bethesda show was kind of like a little bit of a
too much CGI.
disappointment. No, it was a disappointment. Like I was expecting something big, and this was Microsoft's Microsoft way of saying, "Hey, look what we are doing," and it kind of felt lackluster to me, right? I kind of like the amount of things that they were showing in there, and like, come on, just do me a favor, show something that's new, that's upcoming, like it's something that can captivate you and motivate you to be like, oh, in the next few months, I am so looking forward to this game. I get it. Like there's a lot of people over here who's going to be looking forward to this particular game because it's something different for them and it's something like captivates this genre like aspect of things. But I'm pretty sure, like I asked a lot of my real life friends, and they happen to be gamers, right? They're hardcore gamers. They don't even care about streaming as much or anything like that. They don't want to show anything, but they're hardcore gamers. They love playing any kind of game, and they'll put their 120% into this, and they will try to complete this game as soon as whatever it is. And I asked them, like Loki, I asked them their opinion because I kind of feel like they have more of an input when it comes to actually playing games because they put their heart and soul into playing these games, right? So they turned around and said, to be honest with you, it just looks meh. It just looks meh.
So
there's nothing other than being a grind fest. I don't see anything else from it, and that's what they told me, and I was there like, no, cool, cool.
So in my opinion, I would rate this show as a whole. I would rate this as 6.5 out of 10. But there are pretty good highlights in this showcase. Like what they showed with Stalker 2, I thought that was really well done. And I did go
Like-
back and watch the trailer, the 4K trailer for Stalker 2. That looks really impressive, man. Like, I think that's gonna be one of the showpieces for for the Series X. And
So,
that,
like,
and also Horizon, what was it? Forza Horizon.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
as
Part
well.
5, yeah.
Yeah.
Like- like
Forza
when-
Horizon 5. I think that's gonna be also another showpiece for this console as well.
So while this conference was happening, Krow was with me on voice chat, right, with my other buddy, and we were watching this live on Discord, right, and we were just joking around. And you know what, Krow, you actually are generous to give them 6.5 in everything.
Really?
Yeah, I was kind of whining.
Like
Y'all gonna
he
hate
was
my score.
generous.
Go
Like,
ahead.
he
I want
was
to hear it.
generous. He was generous to give it 6.5. The other buddy of other homie of us, Lolo, he was actually saying they're going, "Hey man, I'm gonna give it 5.7." Right, and I'm like, "You still generous, right? Yeah, I'm giving it 5.1." And he's there like, "1? Why .1?" I'm like, that one was basically, I think it was the last trailer, Redfall, I think, and
Yes.
that pushed it over the edge, right? But other than that, the conference itself was dookie, right?
I
It
feel
was
like y'all
Oh,
some haters,
boy.
bro. I feel like y'all
Oh,
some haters,
boy.
bro.
no.
Here we
It's not
go.
about hating. It's not about hating. Like, look, genuinely, I would. It doesn't matter, right? Whichever it is, but for such a big company, I think Xbox now 20 odd years, right? They have so many things that they have done. They acquired. They've done. They went through 3 different hardwares, right? They acquired so many studios. The conference is mainly E3. Like, E3 is their biggest stage for them, and then afterwards, all of a sudden, like, this conference felt lackluster compared to the conference that they had the previous time, right? The previous E3. And comparing to that and the previous E3 to that, I'm sitting there going, why is this conference feeling so lackluster? Like, is it because of the pandemic that I'm watching it at home and sitting there and I don't feel like the live audience sitting there and hyping it up or anything like that? Or is it just that fact that the content that they were pushing and the things that they were showing felt lackluster to me? And Loki, it was not even that. It was not even the fact that the audience were there, because I'm pretty sure when people watch something, like when I compare it to things like other things, like for example, let's just say EA conference, or
Mhm.
I'm not even saying about the PlayStation State of Play, which is a completely whole different thing, but just the EA conference or things like that, that felt more intriguing. Right, that felt more intriguing. I was like, okay, cool. I want to watch more things. But this one was just like, I think they were just trying to. It was a great marketing strategy for one thing, and that was for the Game Pass, the Xbox Game Pass and the Microsoft Game Pass. That was a great marketing strategy, because for every trailer they kept saying, "Get it on Game Pass day one. Get it on, available on Game Pass right now. This, that, and the other." And I was just like, all right, cool. They were pushing their new product out there, and I can see it's working very well. It's all fair dues for Xbox, because that shit is low key fire right now, because the amount of games that you can play and things what they have in there is like, I'm interested in it, and I even subscribed for it, right? So it's not that I'm low key hating Xbox. It just felt like I just felt this conference they could have done so much more better, but it felt so underwhelmed. I was so underwhelmed in many aspects, and I was just like, here we go again. Like, oh shit. Well,
Okay. For the record, I disagree wholeheartedly. I definitely disagree. For me, the show was a 10 out of 10. And I don't mean 10 out of 10 in terms. Hold on.
Okay.
God, let
I
him
don't
man.
mean,
Hey, yo, let the man talk.
All right.
nah, that show was fire. So I want to break it down like this. I don't mean 10 out of 10 in terms of perfection, because typically when people hear numbers, that's what they attach it to. I mean this. And I'll use the Game Informer standard, like 10 out of 10 in terms of being outstanding. Yeah, it was a couple missteps here and there, right? And I'll get to those in a minute. But if you weren't an Xbox fan before that, if you never played a game before, here's why I would recommend Xbox to you. First of all, 27 out of those 30 games going straight to Game Pass day one. That's first of all. The only games in it, The only games that's not going to be there was Battlefield. It wasn't Stalker. Where is it? I gotta take a look. But
I think Stalker 2 is also day one on Game Pass, or is it?
It is.
It's not.
I think it was Tiff. What is it? Tiffany's. The Borderlands one, the story one. I think that's not available.
Tiny Tina's
Tiny
Tina, Wonderland or something.
Wonderland,
but,
yeah.
But I don't want to drive that. I don't want to drive away from the point there. First of all, at least if you didn't have Game Pass, you need to get it now. And it's like clear that you can keep it all the way up until Starfield comes out. We all know how Starfield gonna be a hit and miss. So I would say stop it right there. But like at least for the next year, it's great that you would have Game Pass because you have a lot of stuff coming day one. Contraband was one. That was a quick little CGI splash trailer. It you know, whatever. It is what it is.
It is what it is, you know, at the end of the day.
It's the first time that we saw it, so I will definitely give that a pass. I want to make sure I get everything on there. Forza Horizon 5 definitely was the game of that show. Halo Infinite was definitely improved. It looked they improved everything.
I mean, I agree to your point so far. I mean, when it comes to a certain thing, for me, it's just the event itself just didn't feel that, for my standards, like it could have done better. But for all the things that they showed in there was great. Like, you know, when it comes to Halo's, the whole multiplayer mode that they were showing is like, it looks cool. It looks dope. You know, the multiplayer aspect was the one thing that lacked on the previous one, but this one looks like they improved it. And cool, that's interesting. The visuals and the textures on Horizon 5, the whole jungle aesthetic and everything like that, and the sky and, you know, things was great.
Desert. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, so I agree to most of your things. The main thing what I can see on this conference that Microsoft was pushing out was the Game Pass. Right?
Oh yeah, for sure. And as they should, by the way. Right now I think it's at 26 million subscribers. That number is gonna go up over time. I'm almost sure of it. For $15 a month, $10 a month, you got at least how many other Bethesda games that were like they announced like 10 Bethesda games like right when they was going through the whole thing with that's Howard. I forget the gentleman's name, but he came back out. He interviewed Phil Spencer.
Oh no, I don't know. I thought I was gonna say Phil Spencer.
No. He interviewed Phil Spencer and he interviewed Todd Howard during the big Bethesda acquisition. Who I forget his. Oh my god, I'm horrible with names. Horrible with names. But he came back out and he was like, "Oh, all these other games are coming to Game Pass PC." And actually for me, because I typically do my gaming on PC, I don't have an Xbox Series system yet. So a lot of it is in parity, which is my biggest complaint about Game Pass. A lot of it is in parity with one another. So what's up? Whatever's on the you know, console. So everything is together with the exception of Age of Empires, and they showed that. The other game that wasn't shown, it comes out on Erica's birthday, 9/23. Diablo 2. That's the other game.
Oh yeah, the remastered or the remastered. Is it a remastered?
Yep. And that you know what it reminds me of? Because I've never played Diablo, but what I have played was Gauntlet Legends 64. And plus I played Gauntlet Legends in the arcade too. Like that's the mind frame that it put me in. You know, for that to have a 8-player co-op, like me and the troubleshooters, we finna jump on that. Like that's finna be dope for me. Hey, I do want to take like a quick second to highlight like all the multiplayer co-op games from what was that, Red Dawn or Redfall rather?
Redfall.
Yeah, and I guess we'll get to that in a minute. Like from Redfall, which looks like it has 5 players. I think you can play as that robot in there too.
I believe so. But that topic needs to be separated on its own, because that was, I can say, out of all the games, that was the new thing that I can actually sit there and be like, I'm hyped about this game in particular.
Right? Yeah, now it looked fun.
We're gonna talk about Redfall much later on, but yeah.
Okay. All right, so I don't want to jump ahead, so I do apologize.
Yeah, that's cool.
My game of the show was Forza, and apparently they have a battle royale mode as well. The reason why I scored this conference so high is because the pacing was on point. Bethesda, they went in, they said, look, This is how you do it. And they pretty much had everything structured. 12 minutes was another one that I don't really think is getting enough credit, but 12 minutes comes out
I
next
wanted
month.
to highlight that as well, actually.
That joy,
Yeah.
it looked good, man.
It's interesting. It looks interesting.
Actually, let's go and talk about let's go ahead and talk about 12 minutes here. And so actually, I did listen to the dev interview for this game. It's a very interesting concept. And so this developer actually spent over 6 years developing this game. And so he was working on it alone for quite some years, and then he had some help later on. So the whole company is about 8 members of staff. And so the premise of the game is that it's an interactive thriller trapped in a time loop. And so you play as this man coming home from work and you're having dinner with your wife. Then all of a sudden a cop breaks into the apartment and he claims that the wife has killed one of his associates. So that's why all hell breaks loose, and this cop manages to he ends up killing the wife. And so the whole premise of the game is to try and find the right outcome, and it has lots of different paths to take to reach your final outcome. And so the whole point of the game is to reach the end of the loop where you end up saving your wife. So it's a definitely interesting concept, and this developer is actually saying that it has over 20 hours of gameplay. So it's a lot of different paths and outcomes to take.
As much as I think, I love point-and-click adventure games. Right, and this game is that kind of a game. And second thing is, like, I like this whole crime genre, like a little bit of a twist to it. You don't know what you're gonna expect, how the whole entire loop cycle thing is gonna be working, what you're going to come across. So this is something like I am actually like, it's there for me to try out. It's one of those games that I want to try. I want to play it through, and if it can give me 12 hours or 20 hours of gameplay, hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. This is where my time is wasted on. This is where my time is wasted on, because I like challenging games, right? I like challenging games, especially when it comes. I know a lot of people out there have a different perspective on these kind of things, but point and click adventure makes you think, makes you think, right? It makes you
Yeah,
think.
that's a good point.
Because you want to sit there and be like, what can I find now? Like, what's gonna happen next? You don't know. Yes, you can go through the internet, Google, and type in and look through all the walkthrough, but the whole concept of point and click adventure is the mystery behind what you don't know what you're facing, right? What you're coming across next. It could suddenly change the events. You don't know. It's not like a predetermined um story where it's like you go through a linear story base, and it's like you either go left or right or you go middle. On this one you have a variety of different possibilities, because point and click adventure gives you, let's just say you have this point, it could have 5 different branches that could lead to, depending on the choices that you do, and then that could have another 2 or 3 choices that you can do, which will come back to this original point of what you're trying to meet. So you could have a variety of different adventure before you can come back to the point that they actually want you to see, right? And a lot of people, you like, for example, you played this game, I played this game. You'll be like, oh, did you actually click on this thing? And then afterwards, did you come across this scenario? And you'll be like, what you talking about? I went through this way and I came across this scenario. And I was there like, bro, I want to go through this. I will replay it. Do you know what I mean? I'll replay it until I discover all the scenarios, and it's like, that's my satisfaction. Like, I made sure that I completed this game. So yeah, man,
Yeah,
I'm looking forward.
And when you're talking about the timeline aspect, that really reminded me of Quantum Dreams, Detroit Become Human. And that was such a great game. I watched so many different playthroughs of that, and like hearing the reactions, it's just a really lots of different pathways, and what you're saying, if you meet this character, you have a different pathway. And so this does remind me a lot of Quantum Dream type games.
Yeah. And Detroit Become Human, awesome visual effects and amazing game story wise. Anyway, because you come across a lot of things, and this one I am particularly interested in because they have taken away that whole visual thing. They have
Mhm.
just given you that top down perspective and just like is the environment. You can see the whole environment itself and be like, oh, this is the space that I need to find certain things, or I need to come across certain objects, or whatever it is that you need to discover over there. And
Mm.
as you're going on, you have a great narration going on and storytelling. This is like a storytelling game, and I love it. I love these kind of games, for me, to be honest with you. And when you said there's gonna be having 20 hours gameplay, oh hell yes. Oh hell
Yeah,
yes.
it's really ridiculous how he managed to get over 20 hours of gameplay choices. Like that's ridiculous, bro. Like he
It
really
shows
has
to me
a passion for this stuff, and it really shows, how many hours, to complete this
exactly.
game.
Let's talk about that passion, like to be able to give you all these kind of things. You can imagine how much it's his baby, right? So this is what he wants to create, and he put a lot of time and effort. And for that, I love it when a developer like that has that mindset, because I get to see what his brain was like when he was creating this, right?
Mm.
And to see what his intricacies was behind certain things. And also, I know how the developer side of things is, designing side of things is, and all these kind of aspects. And it makes me unravel mysteries even outside of the game itself. Like,
Mhm.
ooh, this guy must be like, he must have well thought, put hours into this, and for him to be independent so far, and then having a all these kind of a thing, shows to me that this guy is thought this game through very well, and he wants to show it to the public, like, this is what I can create. And the last time I had this kind of a feeling was when I played Metal Gear Solid, right? So
Mm.
Yeah, Metal
that game was
Gear.
Metal Gear Solid, and that was the
Yeah.
game that I was really enjoyed playing
Fire.
through. And that showed that thought process of a developer, right? Like game developer. So that this is why I'm interested in this game.
I feel like I'm sorry, Deli, go ahead.
No, I was
You-
just saying it
Oh,
looks neat. It looks neat. Is there anything else in the conference that you enjoyed? To me, um, sorry, while you
replace.
guys were talking, I kind of was just watching the trailers to catch up and see what's going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, my only gripe with the Starfield thing is no gameplay, but that's understandable. It is what it is. Um, Stalker 2 looks good. Battlefield
Mm-hmm.
looks exciting. Hopefully it's kind of returning back to its roots. It kind of
Yep.
got a little away from it from us, and 12 minutes. I know that they had a Tribeca Game Festival spotlight not too long ago, and I was excited for that one. I think they also announced it like 2 or 3 years ago. Um and I was excited for it back then too. It seemed like an interesting concept, and it was a game that the publishing company Annapurna has. It kind of seems like their track record with publishing these kinds of games is very reliable. Their reputation precedes themselves. So when you see Annapurna Interactive, you definitely think of games like this and was it Her Story? I think it was another one of those like interactive games that had a lot going for it.
Mm.
And also the fact is that because this comes from Annapurna Interactive, the Annapurna like the whole company itself,
Hmm.
they have got some great movies too, which gave you a lot of things to sit there and think about. So I guess it's a similar kind of aesthetic they want to bring into their games, and I can see from 12 minutes, like, this is what they're trying to achieve.
Hmm.
But other than that, Forza
Yes.
looks impressive. I'm excited for Forza as well too. And
Mm.
Redfall, you guys seem to be hyping about Redfall. I don't think it's gonna be that hot. I think it's gonna be
All
like
right,
dead in
so
3 months.
Uh-oh.
all right,
Hot
so
hot
let's go
take.
ahead and talk about Redfall. And actually, the CGI trailer, it does
Oh,
show kind of what this
sorry,
gameplay
bro.
is going to be like.
Sorry, bro.
Sorry, what was that,
Before that,
Joker?
Hustle. Yeah, sorry about
Yes.
that, bro. Just need to quickly ask a question to Hustle.
Yes,
So
sir.
what is your, what are you looking forward to in the 12 minutes? Just to think.
12 minutes in general. I had saw that game back when they first showed it. I think it was 2018 when they first showed it.
I think so.
And
Here,
yeah, so
I'll
just
look it up while you're
going
doing
through
that.
that, I appreciate that. So just going through that whole like murder mystery. I thought the girl had killed her father. She was accused of killing her father, but I might be wrong on that. But anyway,
Oh,
just
yeah.
going through that whole thing. Because you can go, because I saw Krow, if you're referring to that 6-minute developer diary that IGN did, I remember seeing that. And it's different scenarios that you can do. You can hide in the bathroom, you can have a hawk on, pardon me, you can have a knife on you if you want a butcher knife. We saw in the Xbox trailer that dude was getting beat up on the couch. He was, finding a way to get arrested. Like there's a whole lot of different scenarios on that. And that game comes out August 19th. I said it comes out next month, but I'm jumping ahead a little bit. It comes out August 19th, which is good. And it's Game Pass day one.
Oh,
if you could,
sorry to
yes,
interrupt. It came
yes, sir.
out. The reveal trailer came out in E3 2019.
2019.
So 2 years.
2019.
2 years ago.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I was
So,
close. I was close with it. Outer Worlds 2. I know y'all see the little thing behind me. I have yet to play it, but one of the narrative directors. Matter of fact, I think she's like the narrative writer. She's like the head narrative writer. She actually follows me on Twitter, so I'm gonna. Yeah, I know, right? I ain't nobody, but one of the things that that she said that made me interested in Outer Worlds. She used the phrase called Captain Homer Simpson. So a lot of the comedy and stuff that they use is like The Simpsons and like Futurama, and that's actually what made me interested in the game. Whatever engine that they're using. See, a lot of people thought it was Fable at first when it first popped up. So it has a different like tone, a more realistic tone to it. So I'm looking forward to that. There are a lot of things that Microsoft showed, and this is why I kind of gave it the score that I did.
I think
Because
the
if you
original Outer Worlds uses the Unreal Engine 4.
okay. Oh, okay, like the coalition. Like the
Yeah, yeah.
coalition. All right. I can't remember the name of the other game, but it's like Inside. Jesus.
Somerville.
Yeah, Somerville. Yeah.
That's the one
So
I'm
that's
most excited for.
that. I mean, they had a lot. It's you know what it is. It's the level of diversity that they had to offer. They had a Plague's Tale, Requiem.
Yes,
Oh,
that one looks cool too. That one looks cool too.
It's
I
they
still need
showed a
to finish the
lot.
first one. It's a nice visual showpiece as well. And they are using Quixel Megascans, and they've also used that in Resident Evil 8 as well. So the textures are on point with that game.
Y'all talking about a 5 out of 10. I have to disagree respectfully, gentlemen. I have to disagree. I can't. No, but then they show Battlefield too, and I don't know if you guys know, but Battlefield. Yeah, it's rumored to come to Game Pass. Maybe not right away, but it's rumored to come to Game Pass. So
I heard that. I heard in many aspects.
Maybe it'll come on EA Pro.
No, so I heard that rumors wise, I'm not sure how accurate this is, but rumors wise, I heard that it's going to come on Game Pass after 7 months of it being released, right? So it makes sense because
Yeah, that's outside
it
the launch
allows
window, so that does sound
exactly.
yeah.
It makes sense in many ways because it's like 7 months. Cool, because it gives them the sales that they require and they deserve, and then afterwards, eventually, once they went past that sales criteria that they want to meet, drop it on Xbox Pass, Game
Yeah.
Pass, So it makes sense, and I am looking forward to that game particularly because it just I reinstalled Battlefield 3 just to get that vibe back into it, And I love playing Battlefield 3. I still feel like it's one of the best Battlefield games out there.
I'm waiting for want Bad Company 3, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Battlefield 3 for me is just like one of those games out there where it's kept that Battlefield essence very high. And so Battlefield 2042 looks awesome. Trailer looks epic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Gameplay looks good too, and the whole destructible environment thing sounds cool, man. Especially there was a part in the trailer too where the guy jumps off that friggin' he ejects himself out of the plane, takes a freaking rocket launcher, shoots at it, and jumps back in. Is there like, bro? I want to try that with a sniper. Fuck the rocket launcher. I want to try that with a sniper.
And there is I'm not sure how true it is, but I think Cognito had mentioned it from the Iron Lords. He said if possible he wants to rent a server and try to get the community involved in like a game night. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. And I literally just started with Battlefield 5 on Game Pass. Shout out to Game Pass because I would have never tried that any other way. I'm in the medic class, so I'm trying my best. Like I may not get any kills, but I will revive people like I don't know what. So it's fun.
Shout out to Game Pass too, because there is one thing that's integrated very well is you get EA Play along with your Game Pass.
You know what? Yes, but the EA.
Yeah, EA.
It's bad. I mean the launcher, not the company. Well, no, I mean the launcher, not the company.
I know.
Yeah.
That launcher
like
is
the
horrible,
launcher
bro.
is dookie, bro. That I understand. I feel that. I feel that.
Oh boy.
Because I go through that similar thing. But integrating EA Pass along with your Game Pass for the same price, you're getting two for the price of one. Oh hell yeah, I will try. I will get that. You know what I mean? Because if they can do that with the similar things, obviously not a lot of money making, but that'd be dope as shit if they can implement somehow with other things like services. Like you got the Ubisoft Plus, right? Then you got the EA Pass. Then you got other things that you can try out. But shout out to that because that allows you to revisit the old games that EA had, like Battlefield 3 and all these kind of things. And you're just paying for your Xbox Game Pass and enjoying that benefit of playing that game too, right? So,
yep. One other game I would like to mention is Replaced. I think it's on the list, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, it's it's that 2.5D like isometric, like 16-bit game.
And yeah, Deli made a tweet about it. He is pretty hyped about the. I think you said something about was it the was it the overall aesthetic or like the way the story was told?
I had said that what's it called? I'm very excited for Somerville, and this also extends to Replace as well, and it's the same kind of aesthetic. I was basically just saying that I'm a sucker for games with a great art style and loads of atmosphere. I'm happy to see developers continue to chase that stylized game. Especially obviously as my roots as an indie dev, I feel like that's the most comfortable space for everybody because that's when you have the most flexibility. You're able to integrate your art style into the actual gameplay, and it's not a detractor. Something that I respect about Smite. I don't enjoy the game as much. There are problems with it, but that's a personal issue.
It's still using Unreal Engine.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, they ported it to Unreal Engine 4, but anyways, it's the style of the way the game is stylized. You can never tell the game is dated, right? So like if you go back and play Battlefield 3, I did that recently in these last couple of years. It looks very dated, and that's the problem with having like a hyper realistic game is that over the years it'll start to wear, and you'll start to see like, oh, this was good for its time. But when a stylized game like Limbo, Inside, Somerville, there's that one about the mail, you deliver mail. Same thing with like Life is Strange. Those games can be timeless just because like you can play them 10 years from now, and it's just that art style is nothing but beneficial to that kind of game.
You know what game I thought it was when I first saw it? I thought it was The Last Night when I first saw it. Now I remember that they were going through like legal issues at that point. That's what I thought it was when I first saw it. So
The Last Night, I'm excited for The Last Night. I really am. That looks hot.
We might not never see that given the legal issues. Given the legal issues that they're going through. But that's what I thought it was at first. Castlevania is like the mind frame it put me in, like that 2D like style going through. I won't jump ahead or anything, but there was an RPG that they showed that put me in the mind frame of what was the name of that?
It's that ninja kind of a thing running through side by side with the whole camera viewpoint and everything. I thought that was cool too.
Yeah, it was different things.
That was definitely
that was
cool
my Clay games, right? I talking about
I'm not sure. See, I can't quite remember. I need it in front of me.
remember the name of it, to be
Oh,
honest with you.
it was Marco the Ninja, right? That's what you're talking about? Marco the
I can't
Ninja?
remember.
I don't know, but this is the one that they showed recently. So
I know with Replaced in particular, it's extremely brutal. I will give it that. He put the hammer in the back of homeboy head and he shotgun and he let it go and all that. That's cool. Like that was like cool to me. And like I said, the art style reminded me of the last night. But anytime I see stuff like that, especially given the hardware that we have now, it's like these 2.5 games, these 16-bit games, they weren't like this back on the Super Nintendo. So it's like they're kind of reaching a peak now, which I'm all for, by the way. I'm with it though, man.
I'm good for that. I'm all down for it, man. I am super excited for it too because it gives a little something different, change
That's
of thing.
that's another one I believe that's in Game Pass Day One, man. So
Man, I'm like,
Oh,
Might have
boy.
to cop. Might have to cop Game Pass. Y'all
Oh,
might
for
have sold
sure.
me on it.
And I'm
no,
telling you,
like I even reinstalled Elder Scrolls Skyrim from Game Pass, like which I would never pay for it on Steam because I already own it on PlayStation, right? So I reinstalled it on PC just so I can go through it because I really enjoyed Skyrim. I can even get to Oblivion too, the one of the best Elder Scrolls game out there. So I can get Oblivion, but I wanted to replay Skyrim because I just wanted to kill all the dragons all over again. It's one of those things where I was just like, hey, I'm going for this. So I reinstalled it. So, but Xbox Game Pass, low key, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. The amount of games that's available on that Game Pass is just mind blowing. It's just
yeah.
mind blowing, and I can run every single game that they have in there on ultra settings and not even have to worry about it. Right?
Same. Yeah.
And second thing, hey, let's forget. We all forgot one thing from the Xbox that they showed us. Yo, we got Captain Jack Sparrow on Sea of Thieves.
I saw that.
That
Yeah.
Disney
You got,
partnership.
that voice acting. I don't know if it is Johnny Depp, but it sounds like Johnny Depp
I-
to me.
It is. I do believe it is. They actually have a partnership with Disney, which I was hella surprised to see. So
Which is
that's the
dope.
thing.
Wow.
And also, like, I think it's the Dead Man's Chest, the bad guy with the octopus tentacles. What's his name? Davy Jones? Is that Davy Jones?
Mhm.
Yeah.
He's in there too. Which is like, oh, I want to play Sea of Thieves now. Just because I get like
Yeah, that's
Captain Jack.
crazy.
My two favorite pirates, Captain Jack Sparrow, and I don't know if you're an anime fan, Luffy. Obviously, he's my favorite pirate. But yeah, definitely. But Captain Jack Sparrow is my favorite, bro. And to have him on that game and just come across, I think that's like, yo, bro, dope. Let's go. Let's go.
Mm.
You
I'm
know
with
what I
it.
mean?
I'm with it.
That's the main reason why I let them play Sea of Thieves.
All right, so real quick, I just wanted to Redfall real quick. And so, we did see a CGI trailer of this game, and so we do have, some sense of how this gameplay is going to turn out. And it doesn't tell too much in the trailer, and they didn't give too much details. But actually, when you do go to the website, they do give much more details. And so it is going to be an FPS game with unique abilities. And so I think, this is just speculation, but I think this is going to be somewhat similar to Remnant from the Ashes. And if it's going to be like that meets Borderlands, like I really do think this has a really, really good, interesting, concept of this game. And it's very, I really liked Remnant from the Ashes. I had a blast playing with my friends. And so I think this is going to be a really good game as well here. It's a nice co-op shooter.
The Redfall, yes. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's the another thing from Xbox, and that's why like they just pushed me to put that 1.1 further into it. Right? My bad. It's just me, right? But I like the Redfall. I'm just the whole characters sound intriguing for me, right? The way they were shown using their abilities and stuff. So the character telling is what I'm more interested about that game, and what abilities that they can have, and what is the main purpose behind this story. Like, what was the how it came about. Um, and like, because we saw the trailer that it starts off with this girl sitting on the table reading a book, and it just slowly enters into this warfare onto the middle of the road, and this guy just turns invisible, takes a sniper and shoots this guy Loki out of nowhere, and each have different abilities, like, and then the girl just like brings out this Temple of Doom kind of shit all of a sudden in the middle with purple, right? So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I saw the bad guys, like vampire. All right, cool. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and w- then you saw the last boss. I think it's like the boss when they come on top of this rooftop, and you see the lady vampire, right? And
Mhm.
then this girl just takes out the purple, like, imagination. And she kind of like purple lantern, right? Green lantern, but purple version. Like,
That was very
imagine it's an
clever.
umbrella. It takes an umbrella and just pushes her off. Like, all right, cool. So that's the thing. Like, these different unique abilities is just what making me interested about the game, and the character stories behind as to how they come about with this, right? So it looks good. It looks good. I know it's a CGI. It's all rendered to
Yeah.
meet the trailer thing. But I am interested in how the gameplay is going to look out, and how it's going
Um,
to.
I'm legit just happy that the characters are representative of someone who looks like me, someone who was, I believe the gentleman's Indian. I don't want to say Arab because that's an offensive term, but
Yeah, yeah,
it just looked it looked like from this trailer that they got it right, and it's like they consulted the right people. Like,
yeah.
because I don't know, well, Crow, y'all played Grand Theft Auto 5 before, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
Have
yeah.
you ever tried to create a character in Grand Theft Auto 5? Do you know
yeah.
how awful it is? Like,
It's
it,
super awful. It
it's
is
bad.
so bad.
It's oh
Oh
my god,
my
it's
lord.
yeah, it's
Wait,
pretty
which
horrible.
part are you
But
talking about?
oh no,
Character
I'm
creation.
saying the character creation in Grand Theft Auto 5, like for the multiplayer, for the online.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
I
yeah.
haven't
It
really gone into that actually.
I play online, so I
It's a
know
struggle,
exactly what.
G. That's all you gotta
it
know. It's a
Yeah,
struggle.
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's
Struggle.
pretty bad. In a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
games, they don't really get minorities right. It's not even just black. It's not even just a black person thing. It's
Yeah, yeah,
Mexican.
yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of things that they don't get right. But it seems like in this trailer, and I hope the final gameplay is indicative of what we saw, because what we
Mhm.
saw, like, it looked fun. I believe there's 5 players, and I'm making a prediction now that there's 5 players in there. I think you can play as that little robot. I definitely think you can
That'd be
play as that
fun.
little robot,
Could you imagine? Could you imagine? You could
because
play as
y'all saw how they
robot.
showed him at the end of the trailer, right?
Yeah, it looked like a sidekick, but I mean, hey, I'm open for a 6-party co-op game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, so I kind of look forward to that. The story will be the story, and I do want to take the time to, just congratulate like a lot of, not even just Microsoft for this, but there are a lot of co-op games there, a lot of multiplayer games that are dropping from what's that, Republic Riders, from
Yeah, yeah.
from this one, from Redfall, from Battlefield. It's a lot of them joints coming out between this year and next year. So
Yeah.
get some friends, man. Or get some Twitch followers, whatever case may be, and just have at it. Because hey, that mode, if it's true, I thought I heard somebody say that there was a battle royale mode in Forza 5. And if
Mhm.
that's true, then that's gonna be lit for me. Because that's a wacky little race, and we can always have fun doing that. But there are a lot of things to look forward to. But with this game in particular, like, it just, I hope the final gameplay kind of looks like this.
Mhm.
You know, even if there's a small downgrade, let it move at 60 frames a second, what have you. But it seems like that's going to be like if this game came out looking like Diablo, I wouldn't be upset, because it
Okay.
seems like it's going to go that route. Just if I had to guess, like, it would be like I said
Top down.
Diablo. Well, yeah, Diablo. Like, I think Wasteland
Dungeon
3.
crawler. Yeah, dungeon crawler kind of things.
Oh,
Yeah,
like that
it's
the isometric view.
yes. There
I
we
was
go. There we go.
I was thinking of something more like Rogue Company, where it's just third person over the shoulder, I feel like that would probably be more beneficial to it. But that's just my guess.
Well, it is
Yeah.
a
It looks.
first person game, so
Oh, it is. It
yeah.
is. Okay, I thought it was
Oh,
gonna
okay.
be
So
like
never mind.
Sunset
mind
Overdrive or something.
You know what? Ain't it? Didn't these people do Apex or no? Did I hear that wrong? I think I may have heard something wrong in
No, I
regards to
think
that.
this
I
is
think,
their first multiplayer title. Like they've made Dishonored and
Oh yeah.
gotcha. Now I know the studio.
Arcane.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got you. Arcane. Gotcha.
Okay, yeah.
That was too bad it's first person, but yeah, I guess we can't win them all.
Yeah, I suppose something
Yeah,
has
that's
to
what
be
I'm saying.
cut
Like
back.
it's gonna be. I think this is my theory. I think it is gonna be like Remnant from the Ashes meets Borderlands, and that sounds like a really really dope combination right there. If that's the case.
Yeah.
And
Uh,
so-
okay, on their website, it has confirmed. It says, Redfall blends single and multiplayer options seamlessly, allowing the player to venture into the darkness alone or to squad up with up to 3 friends for 4-player co-op.
Okay,
Teammates
cool.
can try different hero loadouts and combine their strengths to overcome the Vampire Legion and their brood of maniacal followers.
Okay.
And then there
That's four
are some information about some of the characters in the trailer.
Hey, can you link the?
Yeah.
You
I
put-
got you.
yeah,
I got you.
I
right on
appreciate
over here.
that.
I'll drop it in chat, big man.
I appreciate
There you
that.
go.
Let's
Yeah, if you
take a
scroll
look.
all the way to the, sorry, if you scroll halfway down, you'll see it says Slay Together, and then it's a couple bullet points, and you'll be able to read the bios of the characters.
But yeah, so I'm just looking forward to these things, and yeah, man. What's your game so far? Watching all these E3 conferences, right? I don't know how much you've been catching up to and how many events you have watched or anything like that. But from the things that you have watched, which one is the game that you're actually looking forward to the most?
That's a good question.
Well,
Well, yeah, I wanted to go into Nintendo real quick. Just to list out their titles coming up. And yeah, so are you guys done with this Redfall topic?
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm done.
All right,
I'm done,
okay,
I'm done.
cool. Yeah, so Nintendo, in my opinion, saved E3. In my opinion, I would rate this. I would rate this personally. I would rate this 7 out of 10. The games they showed actual gameplay, so that's why I was very. I put Nintendo above Xbox here, and so I really liked what they showed with Metroid Dread, and when they were announcing Metroid Prime 4, I thought they were gonna show Metroid Prime 4, but the announcer had to say but. He said but the title's still in development, so we're not gonna show that gameplay here. But they did reveal Metroid Dread, and I really liked the aesthetic of this game and the overall graphics. It looked really impressive. And so we have Samus doing his kick, and also his parry, which looked pretty awesome. And also the boss designs looked really really good here. So I did like what they've shown. And so do you guys have any thoughts about Metroid Dread?
Me
Did you just say
particularly.
Samus and his kick?
Oh yeah, they finna get. I heard that.
That's
They
tough,
gonna
bro.
take
That's
my
tough.
bad.
I ain't gonna cap. I couldn't hold myself back in, bro. I'm gonna need you to correct yourself.
Mhm.
All right, my bad. It's been a while since I played Smash and also Metroid.
Smash.
So.
In all fairness, it was 19 years since they did like a proper Metroid game, but you know what? That ain't none of my business to even speak on.
Prime 4, hello? Is that ever coming out?
Who knows, man? Who knows?
I don't know.
I mean, it looked cool. It looked like, for whatever reason, when I saw it, I thought of Metroid Prime 3, and that was the one that people didn't like. But I hope people buy this one. I legit hope people buy this one. All the Nintendo influences, they need to speak up and
They need to
promote
be
it
on it.
properly. Yeah, because they, Metroid doesn't sell. Like, sadly, it really doesn't sell, and there's a lot to unpack with the Miss Samus over there. So or Miss Iran rather. There's a lot to like deal with as far as like her character development and things of that nature. So I don't know. I hope it sells well. I'm not the biggest fan of Nintendo. Crow, you may have caught the beginning of my last stream where I said some things about Nintendo that I'm not gonna repeat here, but I don't like their business practices, to be completely honest. But you're right. While I didn't think they had the best conference, they showed a lot of gameplay. They definitely did. They showed a Timagami. Is it Shin Megami Tensei? There we go.
Yeah, Shin Megami Tensei.
Hey, look, I just know Jack Frost from Persona is there, and the little tree thing that can kill you in one hit from like Persona is there also. So that's how I know that series, because it's the same monsters and stuff. But
yeah. Actually, when I first saw Shin Megami Tensei, I wasn't too familiar with the series. Like I thought this game franchise was the spin-off of Persona. But I actually looked into it, and the comments were saying that Persona is actually the spin-off of Shin Megami Tensei.
Yes.
So
yeah.
This is actually the mainline series.
I remember first coming across Shin Megami Tensei is an anime, right? It is a.
You said it as an anime?
Yeah. So it was like a short snippet that they were having like for this thing. So I was just like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then afterwards, this is a long time ago, bearing in mind, I don't remember exactly the day, like the year when the thing got. But yeah, I came across this little snippet and I was like, cool, let me look into this. But at that time, I was a big anime gaming like enthusiast, right? So I was to have any anime game, I'll try it out. It just doesn't matter if it is bad or good or whatever it is, I would try it out. And I came across this, and then afterwards, eventually, I think it was a few years ago, they actually had a mobile game that I was playing, which is quite interesting, to be honest, because some of the things that they use in this, they're like, I can see you playing into the game. Never really played Persona.
You're missing out. You're missing
out. Yeah.
As an anime fan, you're missing out, buddy.
So I'm gonna actually try playing that game next, but I need to play it from the first one. I don't know what sequel it is.
Do you know?
Not really.
You don't have to.
Don't I?
No.
Every single Persona game has its own storyline, has its own characters. So
yeah,
it's a closed loop. So like you can a lot of people started with 5 that had international success in the West.
Like me, yeah.
I think that's a great starting point, especially since it's a little hard to work backwards because the series spans 20 years. It starts off with Shin Megami Tensei Persona, and then it spun off into Persona If. And then of course Shin Megami Tensei had several different runs, and then of course Persona has an odd amount of runs as well too. Like there was like Devil Survivor and Innocent Sin, which are like 2 parts of the same game. There's a lot, so I would suggest playing 4 and 5. 4 is on the PlayStation 2, and there's also a PC port, and 5 is the newest one and probably the most user-friendly one. It also has the most critical acclaim, so I would suggest starting there if you're new to the series.
Cool.
You start with 5.
I will definitely give that a shot and play that game just to understand, because everyone keeps talking about it, and it's just like sometimes I'm just sitting there going, "Hey, I don't know what you guys are talking about." Because the funny thing was, I went into a manga shop about a week ago.
Yeah.
Right, like we have a dedicated manga shop, right, store, and low key, there's even Persona 5, Persona, all the series, like
Persona 3 has 2 movies, I think, and all of them have mangas and animes.
Yeah. So I saw the whole collection. I saw the whole collection, and I was so tempted to get hold of it, but I was there like, I need to start somewhere first, that I need to know exactly where I need to start from and where to finish it. So
yeah, I would say suggest starting from 5. It's like I said, the most user friendly, because there's a lot that goes in on Persona 3 and Persona 4 that you may dislike gameplay design wise. And if you're traditionally a fan of JRPGs, I would suggest starting at 5.
Okay.
I do want to second that, and in fact, I pulled it out, but You get Royale because it fixes like a lot of quality of life issues with the Persona 5 vanilla. So it does. So for instance, you have access to a gun, and everybody has access to different guns in the game. So with the gun, like you can down like flying enemies, for instance. And to reload your gun in the OG vanilla version, what you would have to do is you would have to leave the palace and come back.
Wow, are you
Now in
serious?
Yeah,
yeah,
you'd
know
have to buy
that.
bullets. You have to like,
yeah, you
or like
Oh
reload your gun.
wow.
Yeah,
yep.
so
That
you
must have
only
been
had
hella
one
annoying.
magazine.
Oh my god.
You only had one magazine.
Yep.
So
And
Wow.
for the
what
entire
they
palace.
fixed in Royale was after every battle now you fix, or after every battle all your bullets go back in your gun, all the ammunition goes back, so you don't have to go back and forth like that. So
Yeah.
they fixed a lot of stuff. They did a little bit more voice acting. There's an actual third semester in the game, or extra semester in the game if you
Yeah.
max out a certain confidant. So I mean, it's a lot to like unpack, but you can get that game for like fairly cheap. I don't know if you have a PlayStation at all. Yeah, PS4.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should
it's
be
an
able to find it
exclusive.
on PS4.
It should definitely be top of your list.
That's right.
Um,
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, but anyways, like piggybacking off of what Hustle said, you still get the core essence of the original P5. So P5R isn't some exclusive version where you have to play both to understand. Like you still get the same story, you just get more bonus content. Like I said, Persona is a rather easy series because they streamline a lot of the elements of typical JRPG stuff. So they kind of reduce the grind. They have streamlined mechanics. What's it called? All the elements in the games and the weaknesses and the crits are all like condensed. I think there's only like 8 elements or something like that. So it's easy to keep track of. It's easy to manage. The party doesn't get out of hand. It's only four party members, and you can swap them on the fly in the menu at any moment in time. It's just got a lot of style. It's got a lot of flair, and it's just a whole lot of fun. And if you're a fan of anime, I would suggest going into it. Mind you, I do want to say ahead of time, while the way the game looks is not the same as the way the game story plays out. It's a very meta social commentary game on the way Japan society is at the current moment. So it's just absolutely, it's a wonderful game. It's very it's very aware of itself, and I'm very happy about that.
Hey,
Yeah, it's a pretty cool visual novel as well. I really like the story. And back to Shin Megami Tensei. So people are calling this the Pokemon version of Persona. And yeah, and like many of the personas you meet here, so, you're familiar with the Jack Frost. You have the fairy. But here they're calling it demons instead of personas, which is kind of weird. But you can still like fuse demons to get new traits and things like that. So it looks like this is gonna be pretty interesting. So
Yeah,
have you
normally
actually
SMT
played any SMT game before?
I would say normally SMT games are a little bit more darker. They tackle more, or I guess prior to Persona, like being more mainstream, it tackled heavier topics like depression, suicide, that kind of stuff. So that's why it's kind of leaned towards the way it is, and Persona's a little bit more lighthearted. Whereas like Persona goes into, like, they do obviously discuss about it, but they kind of lightly tiptoe around it. Whereas SMT goes, they actually do talk about it. They discuss it in fairly thorough depths, and the psychology behind it, and other things. They feature it in the game. So the demons thing is a little bit more, what's it called? In line with the way SMT handles its story and its topics.
Okay, all right. But yeah, I'll
That's
definitely check it
interesting.
out, and I will. I'll let you know how far I have progressed. And
It's a long game. I put to plat both games. I put 252 hours into P5 and then almost 300 into Royal. So
that's
Damn.
about right. I was
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
I was 50 hours in the vanilla version before I lost my save file. Shout out to PlayStation for that. But I was at the third palace at around the 50-hour mark. I'm like,
Yeah, the tutorial palace is like, it took me
oof.
about 15, 20 hours.
Yep.
The game is at
about
least
right.
100. The game is at least 100 hours, and that
Oh,
it's
yep.
it's tough. It's tough.
Okay. I got some hours to put into and grind, so I'll definitely let you know how far I've progressed. And if I get stuck up in something, I'll definitely hit you up.
All you,
Hey, man,
since you've never played
I
a
just
Persona game before, it's each, the way the game progresses is that you get, it's like while it's a dungeon crawling game, it's also like a life sim. So you go to school and it's like it progresses day by day. So
I like that. I like
the
that.
game
I
starts
like
on a
that.
certain day, and like you have, morning, evening, and night to do your
Nice.
activities, and certain people are able to hang out with, so your confidants. It's a light dating sim. I wouldn't call it like it's a super hardcore, but there are elements of it in the game. So yeah, there's a lot going for the game.
Oh,
I'll have
yeah.
to give it a try, definitely. And
I'll say
I guess
this. When you do play, just give it like 3-4 hours, and then it's going to click. That's
oh,
what happened with me, because I had the
uh,
game for a long time, but I just didn't really know. But like one of my homies was like, no, just play it till you get past a certain point, and then you'll start to see things unravel in that first palace that are quite
don't get me
epic
wrong.
as far as yeah.
I play games that are quite long to get into anyway. So
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
to be honest with you, I will sit there and just to see exactly where it's going on. I'll even finish the game, even if it doesn't take anything. So
Yeah.
for
Well,
me, it's one of those things.
just be prepared for heavier topics.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to say. Be
To be
prepared for it.
honest, to be honest with you, I really like that whole concept of having a heavier topics because that brings light to those subjects, and people can be aware of certain things, and even if they never encountered it or they didn't, prepare for it before, it kind of like I like how the gaming industry progresses in certain ways, and at the same time, I hate how the gaming industry nullifies everything in many aspects of things. But heavier topics is something that I'm used to because I live in England, bro. Everything is just like one of those things where it's just like no censored. We'll just tell you directly to your face. I don't give an attitude kind of thing. So even if it's talking about something like the most sensitive topic. Um, we tend to take criticism very well in many aspects of things, and we will directly give you an opinion. If you like it or not, it's up to you. Take it how it is. That's respect another person's opinion and kind of a thing. So, heavier subject is one of those things. Even in our TV shows, day to day, there is something happening. So, this it's like we are so thick-skinned to this. It
Yeah.
doesn't
Okay.
phase us in many ways. So, yeah, man, I'll
Well, like I
definitely give it a
said,
try.
yeah, do give it a shot. Let us know how you like it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, so it is getting a bit late here. I did want to go into Breath of the Wild 2 real quick. So I thought this was a really
Yeah,
good.
go for it.
Yeah, I thought this was a really good tease of the game, and I do dig Link's new look. And when they showed the floating islands, that really surprised me, and I really like that addition to the game. And I do like, some of the new boss designs. I think that they look pretty cool, and we have Link fusing with water somehow, and he has a new ability where he dissolves upward into like he dissolves upward into like onto the island somehow. So I don't know how that ability is gonna work, but it's pretty interesting.
I mean,
If they get if they get rid of weapon degradation, then I'll buy it.
yeah.
If it's, I understand the mechanic. I understand, like, but look, if I'm running around on my horse and I know that these guys are going to absolutely thrash me because I just got a bunch of tiki torches in my backpack, it really takes me out of the game for a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand the design aspect behind it pushes you towards do different things and play the game in a variety of ways, get out of your comfort zone, that kind of thing. But a blacksmith that can repair your weapons would be, or just yourself, would be an absolutely immense upgrade to the gameplay flow. Personal opinion.
Yeah, yeah, weapon decoration is definitely an annoying thing. Having to scrounge around and trying to find a new weapon. That is definitely annoying, and especially when you get a pretty good weapon from one of the shrines. Like it really sucks to lose one of those weapons. So I definitely feel you on that.
But
And
yeah,
Yeah, that's the only thing. I'll buy the game as long as
I'll
weapon
buy the
integration
game.
is not in
Like
there. You know.
I'll buy the game regardless. It's just me because I've always played every single Zelda games, and Breath of the Wild 2 is another game that I will buy probably because it's just me. But other than that, like I like the whole design aspect for Link with the hair not being tied up anymore. And also is like what do you call it? The whole when he's flying through or whatever it is, and you can just see the hair flopping about. That's like a different take into it, rather than watching the same old tied back freaking Link. Is a different kind of a thing. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to the game, see what it's gonna give me, and what I can enjoy thoroughly, and what I might not what I dislike as well. So you will definitely hear about it when I play the game. And yeah, hopefully till then we don't know. So I'm just waiting for it to just blow my mind away.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to be around some positive Nintendo people. Bro may know me, man. I'm not the biggest Nintendo fan due to certain business practices. However, I took a look at this trailer. I was going to say it's the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 1.5, but I can't say that. I was going to jokingly say that, but I can't even say that. You know why? Because that whole little thing he did with the water and in terms of traversal, that actually does look kind of cool. My only concern, like I'm a hallway dude first. They're gonna, if they are gonna release a Switch Pro, which I think that they will, if they are gonna release it, they're gonna have to put it import it with the OG Switch. So if this new Switch is supposed to be, DLSS 2.0, because they use the Tegra chip and that's NVIDIA stuff. So if it is gonna be, on point, I hope it is, but like you still gotta release it for the thing that you got like 86 million, whatever, however many Switches is out there at this point. It's such a astronomical number. And shout out to Nintendo for that. But you know, Zelda ain't never really been my thing. Krow, I'm gonna introduce you to my homeboy with the melodic punk. He will tell you everything that you need to know about Zelda. Period. He's that guy for that.
Yeah, I've heard about.
Yeah.
He had a lot of. I did hear him on his topics about. Do you recall on AGS Live where I think Optimus Code, he was talking about Zelda, and yeah, Melodic Punk actually came out. He said like he played all the Zelda games, so yeah, I would definitely, I should go to him for more Zelda hype, I guess.
Yeah, I don't watch AGS. Shout out to them over there. I really don't watch the content. However, yeah. But go to my boy Melodic. He'll be able to. That boy's like an encyclopedia. He got it. He got it. Yeah. I mean, shout out to Nintendo.
There was one thing in Nintendo that I was like, hey, I'm a big fighting game guy.
Yeah, that was
Let's talk about it.
That was crazy.
I'm a big fighting game guy, and then I saw that they were teaming up with fucking Tekken meets Smash Bros. Hey, that I was literally jumping at this point. I was like, holy shit, this is what they're actually going to do. And yeah, man, bro, I'm a big fighting game champion, like nerd out there. I pretty much earned most of the fighting games that you can probably think of, right? And Tekken is one of those things, and Tekken 7 gave me that big like how do you call it? Showed me the intricacies of what Bandai can do when it comes to their character and how they can implement their fighting styles and everything like that. There are some flaws, don't get me wrong, but that's their best Tekken game that they have done so far.
It's the best
Uh,
fighting game on the market. I don't care what anybody says.
yeah. So,
Mm.
so for me, watching that little snippet, so they're like, "Hey, let's go. This
Yeah, that
is
was definitely
what."
hype. Yeah,
Yeah, man.
yeah. Yeah,
Go on,
but
sorry.
when I saw that, I was so hyped as well, and just seeing the Kazuya versus Ryu matchup in the this is just a really good crossover.
It's Kazuya, just to do. Let me rephrase that for you. But yeah, so Kazuya versus Ryu. Oh my lord, that was dope. I mean,
I'm still waiting for the Street Fighter Tekken crossover game. But
there is
you
already.
wanna-
I guess
They had
Tekken-
one back in the
Tekken
day.
Street
They
Fighter.
have one.
They had
have
one.
one
It's Street Fighter. It's Street Fighter Tekken crossover, and then it's in the aesthetic of Street Fighter, but they need to do it. They're supposed to do it in return.
The
They're
other way
supposed to do
around.
Street Fighter in the Tekken aesthetic.
Yeah. So basically, Street Fighter in Tekken universe with the whole 3D aspect. That would be dope.
That would be kind of dope.
Because I want to see how Ryu's gonna look with the 3D model. I want to see. I'm not gonna say there's gonna be a massive difference. Because they can just skin it and make it look smoother and finish it off. With having the same model. But that'll be dope as shit. That'll be super dope, and also to see Chun-Li, and then you get to see. I don't know if Ken's gonna be there because they already probably have Ryu in there because pretty much, let's face it, they're like two sides of the coin, really. So, but yeah, that'll be dope. But just for that little Smash Brothers, just having Kazuya and Devil Kazuya,
Mm-hmm.
damn. Just a little bit is more than enough to get people, all the fighting game nerds out there who's like me, to get hyped up. Because I was watching Maximilian 2. I don't know if you know who Maximilian 2 is.
Mm-hmm.
He's a big fighting game nerd, so even he was super hyped just for the fact that there was Kazuya and Devil Kazuya in Smash Brothers. And I would
need to
love
see
to
that
see
reaction. Did he post his reaction for?
Yes, on YouTube.
Oh,
It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then also like the fact is that like I want to see how the stats for that character is balanced out within the Smash World universe. So I get you. I feel you on that. Not liking Nintendo for their whole business practices and everything like that. Like, trust me, Hustle. I feel you on that because they did some shady shit over here in UK, bro. They did some shady shit and they got taken to court for it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
They got taken to court for it. But when you got that in there, and Zelda, I will twist my little brain to be like, I'll play these two games just for the fact of that particular thing. But any other games, I'm not gonna be interested. Sorry.
Hey, so as we were talking, I took a look at the trailer 'cause I couldn't watch Nintendo stuff because I had to take care of some personal stuff. But what's the meta between oh wait Kaz Kazua?
Kazuya.
All right.
Or you can just call him Kaz. You can call him Kaz.
Yeah, Kaz.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's the deal with Kaz throwing people off a cliff into a volcano?
Oh, yeah.
Except
Okay,
Kirby.
okay. So if you're a big Tekken like follower, right?
Mhm.
It's a little homage to him getting thrown off of the cliff.
Oh,
Gotcha.
okay.
So basically, his dad just decided to throw him off the cliff. So in return, Kazuya comes back and he throws his dad off of the cliff. So ever since then, there's a big meme around it too. So that's a little nice homage that they throw in there. You know, if you're a big Tekken follower, that shit will get you hyped up. And it's always been that kind of a thing where Kazuya is classed as like the bad guy of the universe, right? So his main thing is like pretty much most of the endings that you come across, he picks him up with one arm and he just basically throws him off of the cliff or a building or whatever the shit that is. And it's a nice little homage that they put it on there. So shout out to that for that
And
little bit of detail added in there.
and by the way, did you guys see that moment where Kazuya dropped Kirby like a basketball? Like, yo, this man was
Yeah.
acting like a boss. Be like when he did that. And
He floated back though.
yo, I was dying when Kirby flew back up. Like, yo,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that was a funny moment.
It's a little what do you call it? A trolly little moment right there. So it's just like,
Mhm.
yo, Kirby is a blob. Let's face it. You know what I mean? So throw him like a basketball kind of makes sense, right? Unless you
Yeah.
put him in like a little slime thing and start shooting out fur balls, So that's a little thing. But yeah,
Yeah,
man.
was just watching that. I kind of got a kick of him just throwing everybody off the cliff.
Yeah. So it was fun. So it was definitely that particular things where he was throwing off the cliff was just a little homage to like this is what this bitch is known to do in the game.
Okay.
Let me show you why he's actually good because Smash Bros is on a platform. There is when you jump off of the platform, you kind of lose points or die, kind of a thing. So
Dependent. Yeah.
so I guess like the grab ability for Kazuya is if you're at the edge, he will just throw you off of the cliff. So
Mm.
it's kind of a thing.
Ooh,
So
that's a good one. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that as well. Yeah, it's definitely interesting to hear the lore there, and yeah, it is getting a bit late here, so it is time to wrap it up. And so let's go with our outros, and let's start with Agent Deli.
Hi, hello. My name is Agent Deli. Thank you, Krow, for having me back on the podcast. Joker, Hustle. It was great to meet and returning and new people. My name is Agent Deli. You can find me on all my social medias, Agent Deli on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And yeah, as Krow said earlier, I'm an ex AAA developer at Ubisoft. And I'm currently working elsewhere at the moment right now. I can't really talk about, but yeah.
interesting.
All right, cool,
Interesting. I'm
cool.
curious now.
And let's go with Joker Gamer V3.
I appreciate you having me back on the show again, Crow, and thank you for allowing me to be a returning guest. Well, I started off as a special guest, just like you, Hustle, and now I'm a regular from guest that keeps appearing onto this podcast. And again, great shout out to Deli. Deli's, a cool guy, and Crow. Yeah, man, you're doing your thing. Keep doing your thing, and Hustle. He keeps bringing in interesting people into the podcast, so it's always nice to have like a little hookups and understand certain things and get introduced to different types of genres in games and things like that, and also a fellow gamer. So yeah. So if you all don't know me or anything like that, you can always hit me up and ask me questions. All of my links are getting popped up on this side of the screen, as you can see. So you can go ahead and follow me on there. And I'm also a streamer, so I stream when I can because due to my work commitments, I can't give you the schedule particularly. And yeah, definitely good talk show today, and hope to catch you all next time.
All right, sounds good. And let's go with Hustle and Motivate.
Hey, Crow. Good looking on having me on, man. I definitely appreciate the love and support. We supposed to do this a lot sooner, but my schedule kind of gets in the way of a lot of things. Hey, glad I was able to stay through the whole show. I don't know if you can tell, but boy, am I tired because I wake up at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, you too? You
yeah,
too?
yeah, it's bad, man. This is getting
It's
bad.
tough
But,
out here,
wow.
man.
yeah. But I mean, well, thankfully that's getting ready to change. But no, this is fun. Hey, Crow, you keep it up, man. Don't let nothing get in the way. I'll talk to you offline about just some YouTube stuff, but nah, what you got over here is good, dog. Don't ever be afraid to stop, express yourself. Like, everything comes with time. I had fun though. Like I definitely had fun. Like you know how to run a podcast, man. This was dope. Like everybody was kicking there. We all was chilling. I had my Nintendo slander, as I should, of course. But nah, it's dope, and it was great to see people with just like different opinions on different things. Joker, I think him and you gave the Microsoft conference, low scores, which I don't know why you would do that, but whatever. That's your opinion. That, here's what it is, though. But nah, man, it's all good. No, but don't stop though. We all, like myself included, we all start, brick by brick. Just brick by brick. Just keep going.
Sure. Yeah.
You'll look back in the year and be like, oh man, I was, you know what I mean? So yeah, don't ever feel like you're not gonna make it. You'll probably make it a lot faster than me too. But you got some real decent people in your corner too. So it's it's a good thing to watch you and watch the evolution and everything. And just keep working. Deli, it was a pleasure to meet you for the first time, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Likewise with you, Joker.
Thank you.
Joker, I just subscribed to both of your channels. Deli, you do YouTube stuff or no?
I used to. So I used to play Paragon professionally from 2017 into 2018. But the esports dream is dead. So I don't really. My schedule is super busy right now, so I haven't had the time to make anything. I would love to. But mostly I just kind of clip my streams and put them up.
So yeah.
So yeah.
Either
But
way,
I used to.
well,
So, like,
I thought. What's up?
I feel that on YouTube thing, like, because I used to have a lot of videos. I had at least like 40 to 50 videos. I had to delete them all because it got copyright strike. Particularly
Wow.
Oh man.
particularly
bad.
for one. No, it's because I was a very heavy critic on a particular gamer because he was a very toxic community member, right? And basically, what happened was my previous channels to this, that's the one that got copyright strike, and that's why I didn't release much videos on this particular thing. So, but anyways, I got my channel back because I found out everything. But by then, it was too late. All my videos was deleted, and this was before all this terms and conditions got changed over and stuff like that. But I will be creating more videos, and I do create a lot of beats, so I will be posting up on beats on there. So
Yeah.
for like copyright free. I'm not the kind of person who wants to like be like, hey, I'll put it. So I'll be putting copyright free beats. So go ahead, and if you want to use it on your stream. So
Yeah.
but yeah, sorry.
So I was gonna say my YouTube channel is just for personal enjoyment. So I'm sure if you scroll
Okay.
back through enough, you can find some highlight videos and some funny stuff. But it's nothing crazy, I promise.
For sure.
Yeah, so
okay.
after that whole fiasco, I decided I'm not like I don't want to go through that hassle of creating videos and stuff like that. But if I do in the near future want to create any videos, I will do, and yeah, you'll probably see it.
Yeah.
And I'll be
I
like,
hope
"Hey,
to. I hope to in the near future when my schedule frees up, and hopefully I'll be able to collaborate with you wonderful gentlemen, because I think it's just much more fun that way.
oh yeah, definitely.
Indeed.
Yeah, for sure. And I definitely appreciate you guys, coming through and your commitments to this show here. I do know that Deli has a very strict schedule here with his crunch at his job. And you hustle as well, where you have to wake up 3:30 in the morning just to go to work.
That's crazy.
I definitely appreciate you guys coming through. And I appreciate you guys tuning in live and looking into the show in the at a later time. If you do check out the show later, make sure you do like and share the podcast. I do appreciate it, and I will be putting it up on Spotify, so you can check it out there as well. And if you don't mind, you can follow me at Theslykrow on Twitter if you use Twitter. And yeah, thank you guys for coming through again. It's definitely a great discussion. And see you guys next time. This is your boy Krow signing off, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.